Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lex out here, and it's Monday morning. The Raptors played their first preseason game of the 2024-2025 season. And once again, Darko Rajakovic is undefeated in the preseason. He won every single preseason game last year in his first year as the coach of the Raptors. And he has won his first game of the preseason this year also in Montreal at the Bell Center. What an extravaganza of great Raptors action last night against the Washington Wizards. A fantastic rout right from the beginning, wire to wire lead for the Toronto Raptors over Washington the whole entire game. And I want to say this right now, that is Washington's best team. Yeah, we were missing Scotty. We're missing Emmanuel. We're missing Jacoby. We're missing Bruce Brown. RJ, he's going to play until he gets hit in the shoulder, and then he's got to leave. But that was the best team that the Wizards got for this year. And that team won 15 games last year. They're going to be really bad this year. Oh, my gosh. The Wizards are going to be bad. And Jonas, well, he's going to get traded. He's going to get traded. So don't feel too bad for our old friend, Mr. Jonas Valanciunas, who's playing center for the Washington Wizards right now. That contract is so tradable, and he will be traded. Trust me. But, yeah, they are bad. And pencil us in. We're over the Wizards this year for sure. For sure. Well, y'all, let's react to the first game of the season. I got the stars of the game. I got all kinds of fun stuff, the classic car of the day, all the fun things we do on the Raptor Freak channel every single day, 9:30 a.m. Let's go. Yeah, baby. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Yeah. That's right. I feel so good. I want to sing, even though I haven't been feeling well this weekend at all, guys. In some ways, I've had severe digestive problems this weekend. I feel really, really bad because Commissioner Trivia, David Saborin, and Morgan came out to visit me this weekend. And I couldn't be a very good host because I was really, really hurting. In fact, I gave almost all my energy to you guys on this show the last 2 days. I was really, really laid out in a bad place. But I appreciate David and Morgan coming out. And I hope that they had a really, really good time hanging out here at the cottage, taking in the nature of the animals and the plants and the trees. And David, wow, thank you for planting a bunch of stuff in my yard and getting me some bird feeders. Commissioner Trivia, undefeated, coming out here once again, his second trip out to see me out here. And he's very impressed with the changes we made since he came in July. And him coming back out to visit me out here was fantastic. I wish I'd been in better shape so that I could have been a better host for them. And I feel really, really, really bad about that. But David and Morgan, you're going to have to come back out again in a few months again. I don't know at any time this winter, but definitely for next spring. At some point, you guys are going to have to come back out and visit me again. So thank you, David, for coming out. And thank you for all the stuff. In fact, there's another package outside. I have no idea what David got. Let's see. We got Commissioner of Fun. Trevor J is in the house. Trevor is holding it down for the Raptors Freak Nation in Portugal right now, holding it down for us overseas at weird time zones, watching the Raptors' first game in preseason. Some people make your dream bigger. Some people try to kill your dreams. Choose wisely. Wow, words of wisdom from Commissioner J. Yeah, in some ways, you got to go by vibes in some ways. Some people can be very something to your face, but then the vibes are weird behind the scenes or how you feel them. And in some ways, yeah, this is a good way to go. Some people use intuition, sixth sense. They're kind of like, something's a little off about this person. But, it's totally true, Trevor. In some ways, you can have people that are close to you that don't really want good things for you because they're kind of keeping tabs on you. And, the worst ones are the ones that are comparing themselves to you all the time and behind the scenes. That's the worst. Listen, we're all individuals and we all have our own life paths and they're different. And in some ways, if you respect and love somebody's life path, well, don't, try and compare it to yours because it's not fair to you and it's not fair to them either. Let's go. Naco the Nachos in the house, holding it down in the 905 for us in Mississauga. Gerald, how are you this morning? He's saying, holy cannoli, Shed is a fast dog. Grady just getting better. Prayers for RJ. I like Davion. I got to make sure I say his name. See, I say his name like I heard that name down in Florida. When I grew up in Tallahassee, there were guys named Davion all over the place, but I had to call them Davion, but he's Davion. So I got to make sure I get it right. Let's break this down with each one, and I'll do my stars of the game very soon. Shed is amazing. In some ways, we saw something about Shed yesterday that's absolutely fantastic. This guy's a dog. In some ways, I love the camaraderie between the point guards on our team right now. They really are not against each other. They're with each other, and they're a brotherhood. And that brotherhood of Quickly, Shed, and Mitchell, and the other guys, Ramsey and Carton too, is very, very awesome because they are helping each other so much. Quickly showing so much support for the great play by Shed and Mitchell yesterday, that it's like, man, this is really fun. In some ways, we have some of the best defensive guards the Toronto Raptors have ever had in the history of their franchise right now. And oh my gosh, I'm so here for it. Grady, holy crap, at the beginning of this game. What he did was amazing. Once again, Grady continues to do what he did last season, where he comes out each and every game and he shows us a little bit of something new that we've never seen before by him, and we're all like, wow, wait a second. There is a lot more potential for Grady Dick to grow into becoming a much bigger time NBA scorer. And that's what we saw last night. In fact, we saw a very measured dribble to the mid-range near the lane and a very easy shot. And the way the shot's going in, it's got that toilet bowl action. There's a little and it's going in. That's the sign of a true shooter. And the way that those shots were going in for Grady in the first quarter. Very, very nice. Yeah, RJ, don't worry about RJ, Nako. In some ways, that was his cue to get the hook and get out of the game so that the younger players could get their time to get out there and shine. 20 minutes was all anybody was getting last night, and that's what happened. Darko stuck true to his word that he said, oh, nobody's going to be playing over 20 minutes. And while RJ, he had a little bit of a quicker hook at 14 minutes, he probably would have played 6 more. But in some ways, he ran into the big Lithuanian that used to play for us, Jonas Valanciunas. And, well, I think he's going to be fine. This is nothing. In some ways, they've taken over precaution and just saying, well, RJ, you got a really good stat line already. We don't need to put you back out there. In some ways, it's just like Scotty and Emmanuel not playing, RJ getting a quick hook. That's just how it goes. And they're not playing again until Friday. So let's not get it twisted. RJ Barrett's fine. And if there is any more news about any kind of worse injury than this, well, I'll bite my tongue and say I was wrong. But I'm not worried about this. RJ's tough. Let's just put it that way. That's right. You like Davion? Yeah, I like him too. In fact, I think that him and Shed were both equally good. There was a nice consistency from our point guard, point of attack defense from both those guys. And then even when guys like Jamias Ramsey and DJ Carton were out there was no drop off. And that may be very interesting about the Raptors this year. We're used to Malachi Flynn. Yeah, we're used to Malachi Flynn. And everybody's going to understand why I thought Malachi Flynn was such a shitty backup point guard this year, because we've got like 4 better backup point guards than him this year than last year. So, yeah, the difference is going to be very stark now that the Flynn era is over in Toronto. And, yeah, there's a difference in the intensity of how you can play defense as the backup point guard. We're seeing it from our guys right now. I love it so much. Trevor J. saying, I was so excited early today watching the Raptors game. I know y'all were excited too. Oh, yeah. It was fantastic. And what a dream game. This is the kind of way we need to start the season. In some ways, the real diehards come to watch the first preseason game like we did. And listen, this is a good first impression. This will help people watch the team this season because of this. And I have to give major, major kudos to the Montreal Bell Center crowd. You guys are awesome. You guys always come with a great energy. Y'all are cheering like I would want you to cheer as far as the defense chants and the Let's Go Raptors right away at the beginning. Fantastic stuff from the Montreal crowd. And there's a reason why the Raptors have been undefeated in that season, their whole entire history. They're in that city, their whole entire history. Is because that crowd is a really good crowd that gets loud and does good things for the home team, the Raptors. And they are diehard and loyal. And that's why they probably do need an NBA team, because they will be a really good market. And yeah, good job last night, the Bell Center, Montreal people coming out and supporting the Raptors, getting loud. And man, you guys did a really good job getting the energy, because I'm telling you, that energy that they fed to those Raptors helps them. Just like we do down at Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto. That helps them. That's why we need to come correct this year. No apathy. No worried about a rebuilding year and whether the Raptors can get wins every game. Half-ass fans, go half-ass out of here. The real ones will stay, and we will cheer for our team winning or losing this year. And if we can come down there and give them the right energy as the crowd in the Scotiabank Arena has in the past, the Raptors are going to be all right. Let's just put it that way. That's what I'm going to say right there. Yeah, Bryce is saying iron sharpens iron. Yes, this was something said after the game by Jamal Shead. Jamal Shead getting one of the interviews after the game. He got the halftime interview even because he had done so well at the half. This is what Jamal Shead said, and this is crazy. He said, listen, I feel like it was easier out there against the Wizards because I didn't have Davion Mitchell guarding me anymore. This man's been having to go up against Mitchell, one of the best defenders in the NBA in practice and training camp all recently, all summer, basically since he became a Raptor. And now he's like, well, now I can actually play somebody who's easier to play against the Washington Wizards point guards. And that's in some ways why Jamal Shead saying he played so good last night is because he's used to Mitchell locking him up. And it's like, well, after playing against Mitchell in practice all training camp, it's like, this is easy playing against these scrubs on the Wizards. So that's a fantastic thing. Iron sharpens iron. And I'm telling you, this is what he said. He said, we're all helping each other. We're helping Quick. Quick's helping me. Shead's helping Mitchell. Mitchell's helping Quickly. Quickly's helping Mitchell. That's what we're talking about when we say iron sharpens iron. And when you don't have to play against Davion Mitchell, you're happy. You're happy because you don't have Mr. Off Night on you. So no wonder Shead's like, yeah, this is easier because I'm not having to play against Davion. Yeah, Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Dap. What a performance by the Raptors. That's right, Cowboys. Shead is Iron Man. I am Iron Man. Yeah, there's a new term everybody made up last night, the Shed Heads. I don't know, man. Y'all want to be shed heads? Because that's what they're trying to say, that we're being shed heads now. I don't want to be a shed head. That's a little bit of a couple of consonants or a vowel off of some other word that's not very nice. Yeah, do y'all want to be shed heads? I don't like this nickname. I'm sorry. Shed head. It looks good in writing, but it doesn't look good saying it. Let's just say that. Hello and welcome. Oh, shitheads. All right, let's do the stars of the game. Let's go. All right, first star of the game, guys, because we did so well last night. In some ways, I got to do a top 10 list of the Raptors. We got to count them down, top 10 style, like Casey Kasem, because they were so good last night. They were so good last night. So let me just start with my number 10 person on the let me see. Let me actually look at it again and make sure I get it right. Okay, my number 10 person is we're going to go ahead and say the number 10 person is there's so many people to choose from. It's very difficult. Seriously. It's very, very difficult because there's so many different people doing so well in the game last night. It is no, not him. I'm going to say the number 10 person is Ochai Agbaji. Agbaji shot 4 for 7, 17 minutes, 1 for 3 from 3. He did hit a 3, which is fantastic. We wanted to see something like that. 2 assists for Agbaji and only 1 turnover, a plus 16 with 9 points. He shot 4 for 7. I thought that Agbaji was active. I thought that he looked good. I thought that people were finding him in correct ways. Like in particular, Kelly found him with a really great pass to get that 3 in the corner. You know, that's one of the things that the guys were doing yesterday that was fantastic was, and Shed specifically, he's a real point guard. When he passes the ball to someone, he puts a rhythm into the play so that the shooter can get into a shot rhythm immediately when they get it. I've talked about this for a couple of years now on this channel, that it's the thing that pisses me off about bad point guards, that when you serve the ball to a player with an assist, you got to serve it on a silver platter. You got to put it where they can be successful. Because if you're just passing it to them, you're not really thinking about the situation and whether they can actually get the shot off or in time or whatever, then you're a horrible point guard. But that's not what Jamal Shead is. In fact, in some ways, he was getting the ball to people in a rhythm. And Kelly Olynyk specifically was catching the ball off Shead and shooting right into rhythm in a very beautiful way that gave away that Jamal Shead is a true point guard. And the fact that he knows how to pass to get the guys into rhythm before they even touch the ball is a fantastic attribute, and it's a true point guard skill, something that Malachi Flynn never showed the whole entire time he was with the Raptors. So, wow, already the first preseason game, Jamal Shead showing that stuff. All right, I know I jumped ahead. Number 9, on my all Raptors for yesterday's list is let's see, we'll go DJ Carton. DJ Carton had a mixed bag yesterday. In some ways, he was really bad in the first half. But in the second half, I thought that DJ really kind of showed up and played a lot smoother. He had that transition play with Chris Boucher where he made the nice pass in rhythm to Chris so he could catch it and throw it down to the delight of the Montreal crowd. Yeah, DJ was playing way better in the second half, way more together. We saw a little bit of the athleticism. He was 3 for 6, 1 through 3 from three, 1 rebound, 3 assists, or 1 steal, +9 with 7 points in 20 minutes. Yeah, DJ was okay. He was fine with me. I thought he was great in certain ways. So really, really happy with him. My next star, which I guess is the number 8 star, is Jared Rhoden. Jared Rhoden came out for only 8 minutes. And he was really interesting as far as he shot a lot. He was very eager to shoot. He shot 3 for 4, which is fantastic. 6 points, a +10 in 8 minutes, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. He did have 3 fouls, but that's not a big deal. And I thought that Rhoden was very measured with his shots. He took his time. He had a mid-range shot that was very, very well measured. And then, yeah, I thought he just did a really good job. So Jared Rhoden, you shined okay in only 8 minutes of play out there. And then my number 7 pick of the top 10 Raptors yesterday, Jamias Ramsey, was quite good off the bench also. I would say all the point guards were very good yesterday. DJ Carton didn't start as well, but he got better later. Ramsey was fantastic. In some ways, Ramsey looks crazy bigger than he did last year. He played for us last year, and his arms weren't as big as they are now. So it's kind of crazy how Ramsey looks, and he looked really fun. Like those 2 threes he made in the first half were fantastic. Of course, it was right around when Vince was talking, being real distracting from the game. In some ways, I was like, I don't mind Vince talking. In some ways, he was being a little bit more honorable towards our team and not being so like he was still being egotistical, but he was being a little bit more respectful last night, and that goes a long way. But also, he was distracting from the game. I didn't want to hear from him. I'd much rather hear them call the game and talk about the new Raptors and what they were doing, and that was annoying at the time. And that was when Ramsey was kind of shining. 10 points for Ramsey in 15 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, perfect at the line, 2 for 2, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Yeah, Ramsey was pretty good. I was very happy with him, like I was with all the point guards. Jamison Battle is my next star of the game. Jamison came out and he picked up where he left off in Summer League. 12 minutes, 10 points, +10 on the court, 4 for 5 from the field, including 2 for 3 from 3, 1 rebound, 1 steal. Yeah, Battle was just ready to shoot. And when he shoots from the outside, we're thinking he's going to make it. Number 77, you're surprising us. And in some ways, I don't think you have a good chance to make the team, but you're going to be on 905 this year. And that's going to be a lot of fun to watch you shoot the lights out in Mississauga this year. So, yeah, good game by Jamison Battle, picking up where he left off in Summer League and continuing his excellence. My next star of the game is Grady Dick. He's my 5th star of the game. Grady was in an early part of the game, was really, really great. Him and RJ were the 1-2 punch that started the game off with a professional level against the top lineup for the Wizards. Like I said, they started their starting lineup for this year with Poole and Kuzma and Valanciunas and Alexander Sarr. But yeah, it didn't matter. The guys who went out there and took control right away were Rowan Barrett Jr. and Grady Dick. Grady Dick getting out there 5 of 9 to start the game and mixing it up with all kinds of different shots. He did miss all 4 of his 3-point shots. But you know what? That's the thing. Grady's showing, even if he's not going to make his threes, he's going to be a very good scorer and get points on the board. In fact, I think that when y'all were saying last year that you think that Grady Dick could be a 20-point scorer, I'm starting to see it now. I'm starting to very much see it as of last night. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, +11 with 10 points in 20 minutes. Grady, pick up where Gary left off and do it even better is what I'm saying right now. That's what you need to do, Mr. Dick. Yeah, next star of the game is Jamal Shed. You guys may be like, why is Jamal star number 4? He should be the first star of the game. Well, in some ways, I want to give some other guys more credit in certain ways. So Shed, 17 minutes, 10 points, 4 of 6 from the field. He missed both his threes, though, but perfect at the line, 2 of 2. He got 4 assists, which was fantastic. 3 steals, which was fantastic also. Shed doing a little bit of everything. Like people were saying, Jamal Shed was making good plays one after another, whether it was on the defensive end, whether it was the offensive end. We saw Shed doing these crazy little floaters around the basket by beating his opponent and just floating it up over them. We saw him pinpoint accuracy passing. We saw him deflecting passes on the other side on defense and getting steals for us. It was a very heady game by him and a very intelligent game. And the fact that he was going all out, the fact that he was so out of breath at the halftime interview shows this man is working. This man gets it. This man understands to be a winner, you got to put the effort in. And who cares if it's a preseason game? This man came to play like it was the playoffs. And it showed in the way he put it all on the floor last night. And we love that. Oh, my gosh. You know, in some ways you may wonder, is right for him to wear Fred VanVleet's 23? Well, listen, he probably talked to Fred about it. Fred's probably like, yeah, you're fine because you're good. You're nice. Then you will carry the legacy of 23 for the Raptors in the right way. And listen, in some ways, we've seen Shed already how he made Houston have such a great winning percentage the whole time he was at college there with Kelvin Sampson. That this is the winning stuff that puts you over the edge, the extras that make you a winner. And in some ways, him as a leader on this team and doing that kind of stuff, well, that's the kind of effect that he could have on a bench mob. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe we do have a bench mob back because Jamal Shed knows what it takes to win, and he's willing to put in the work. And man, oh my gosh, what a great personality too. He's so well-spoken. He's such a nice smile. And in some ways, Jamal Shed is a winner. He's just a winner. That's the word you should describe him with, is winner. And that's what we're talking about here with the Raptors. These guys are winners, and they're used to winning, and they want to win more on the professional level with the Raptors. That's right. Manuel quickly did not come to Toronto to lose and sit on a rebuilding team. He came here to win. And that's what we're talking about right here. Yeah, Jamal Shed, fantastic stuff right now. That was kind of your coming out game last night. Everybody knows who you are now. Now, my top three players are the Canadians. We're going to go right down the line. Kelly Olynyk came out, and he was steady. Kelly Olynyk playing with the second unit, which is primarily very young for the Raptors. Very, very young with Jamal Shed running the point guard and other youngsters around him. Well, Kelly's a steadying force. He's somebody who can kind of keep things calm. And Kelly did a good job off the bench. 12 minutes. He got 10 points in 12 minutes. 3 of 6 from the field. 2 of 5 from 3. Those threes were awesome. Like I said, Jamal delivered the pass to Kelly just in time and set him up for success by helping him gain room from the defender. And then Kelly's just going to pop it in. So I know that Shed really appreciates Kelly for making the shots, and Kelly really appreciates Jamal for finding him. And that's fantastic. 5 rebounds also for Kelly out there and 3 assists. So he was being a playmaker also. So Kelly doing a little bit of everything. A +8 in 12 minutes with 10 points. That's fantastic stuff. Our 3 Canadians were awesome. Chris Boucher is my second star of the game. Chris was awesome. In the beginning of the game, he didn't have such a great game. He had a little bit of confusion, misconnections with different people, some turnovers. But all of a sudden, things kind of woke up for Chris, and he started doing the things that he does. And that's stuff like doing the rebounding. 4 offensive rebounds for Chris yesterday. That's what he does. 6 rebounds altogether. 1 block shot also for Chris. He was a +19 with 13 points in 18 minutes, 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. It was a fantastic game. It's exactly the kind of story you want to write for the Montreal kid to play in Montreal and have a fantastic game like that. In fact, that dunk that he had off of DJ Carton in transition was just a big, huge exclamation point for the Montreal crowd to just love Chris Boucher. And man, what a dream weekend for Chris. If he got robbed of this last year because he was sick and he couldn't be there for the Montreal, the makeup has been perfect. The makeup game and weekend in Montreal has been perfect for Chris, although he did say it wasn't totally perfect because he said in the interview after the game that the people didn't laugh at Chris Redd and the comedians at his night of laughter, that somehow, some way, that the people didn't think that his night of laughter was funny and that something happened there. If that was the only thing that went wrong this weekend in Montreal for you, Chris Boucher, that's fine. And maybe the comedian need to write new jokes is probably what's happened there. The number 1 star is our guy. Listen, 14 minutes, 17 points. How can you go against that? The man was the leading scorer for the Raptors, and he barely played past the halfway point in the second quarter. Oh, man, RJ's so good. RJ is so good. And that man was out there busting his ass and killing people. Wow, he was a dead-eye with the threes. He came correct, showed up prepared, and came to destroy the Washington Wizards, which is what he did right off the bat. Forget you, Kyle Kuzma. Forget you, Jordan Poole, with your crazy ass long range 3-point shots that look so crazy. Why are you shooting those really bad shots like that? Why are you? Yeah, it's like your team was encouraging you to. Kuzma showed up and got 2 points. And RJ came out there and played 14 minutes and got 17 points. And that's why he's the player of the game in my book. RJ, you're a badass, man. You are a badass. And seriously, y'all, don't worry about him. 7 of 10 shooting for RJ in limited minutes. 3 of 4 from 3. That is fantastic. He did miss his 2 free throws. Oh my gosh. I was like, is this going to be how it is this year? The Raptors were bad at the free throw line last night. That may be the one thing I could give them a criticism about. But yeah, RJ really poor free throws last night, the 2 he did shoot. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a plus 16 in 14 minutes. RJ Barrett, you're a big time difference maker. And I am so proud of our 3 Canadian guys for showing up and playing hard and doing a good job, along with all the youngsters, the rookies, and everybody. Of course, I am going to talk about Prince. I'm going to talk about Mobo. I'll talk about the rest of the Raptors still, even if they didn't make my top 10 list of best Raptors yesterday. Yeah. So fantastic stuff. RJ, Kelly, and Chris. So happy to see our Canadian guys do well in the Canada series. Yeah, do well in the Canada series. All right, let me keep going in the chat a little bit more and see what you guys are saying here. Cowboys saying my 3 stars are Grady and Shed, Iron Man, and have to give it up to Boucher. There you go. Yeah, wait, you said RJ, Grady, and Shed, and you got to give it up to Boucher also. Yeah, those are great 3 stars. Grady and RJ basically won the game for us at the beginning of the game. And Jamal Shed was just fantastic all the way through. I'm really, really happy to have Jamal Shed because in some ways there's going to be a point guard competition that's going to be very fierce, and that's going to mean our bench is going to be way better this year. Emmanuel is the starting point guard. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But, as much as everybody says Sky's going to be our backup point guard, well, is that going to be true? Because we may need to play Jamal Shed at backup point guard. And some people already saying in the chat last night, Davion Mitchell may be in trouble to be the number 2 point guard on the depth chart after Emmanuel, because Jamal Shed may be trying to take that time. Well, all in good time. Remember, this is preseason. Remember, this is the Washington Wizards. And remember, there's levels to this. And in some way, Shed needs to go to apprentice class at 905 in Mississauga and run his own show down there a while, like Fred VanVleet did when he was a rookie. And he'll get there in a couple years. Trust me. If Shed continues to have these kind of characteristics like he exhibited last night, that man's going to be successful in the NBA. Because in some ways, he's doing things that not everybody likes to do on the court. And that's going to make him very, very successful. So Shed, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We see good things from different people, and we're like, oh, this is going to happen. Well, we got to wait. All in good time. It's one thing to do it in preseason against the Wizards. It's another thing to do it against the Celtics in the regular season. And in some ways, we need Shed to get that seasoning and experience on the Mississauga team for a while before we can fully call him. And we got to remember, this is his 4th year in the league. And in some ways, he's got way more experience against the top level NBA guys, even though Shed showed out yesterday. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this battle. And in some ways, I say this isn't really a problem. This is a great, 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 great thing for the Raptors to have so much talent at point guard all of a sudden. I love it. In some ways, it's like we shifted our team inside out. We had all the wings a couple years ago, so many wings. And now we've got guys at the edges of the positions. We got a bunch of 1s and a bunch of 5s. And I love that. And in the middle, we got really good, talented, top-tier players like Scotty and RJ and Grady. So, yeah, this is a good thing that we got a lot in the cupboard at the 1 position and the 5 position, which is great. We needed that 5 position filled up too. Yeah, let's see what's up. Yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying. Trevor's saying Jamal Shed said he is so glad that he didn't have Davion and Carton in front of him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His life got easier when he's not having to play in practice. That's a good sign. Seriously, that's also a really good sign that they are being prepared correctly. I'm going to say 2 things right now. I don't think the Washington Wizards got together this summer and did any practice together at all like the Raptors did. I think that in some ways, Darko is brilliant because he understands that we have the strongest schedule in the first 2 months of the season than any other team in the NBA. We have the hardest schedule. And that in some ways, he needed to get that jump start by putting us in Malaga at the Sanctuary together, by putting us together down in Miami, by getting this team more prepared earlier. Because this is true. The broadcast was kind of saying this last night. We're going to go into the beginning of the season. We're going to be playing all these playoff teams right off the bat. And in some ways, we need to be more further along as far as connecting and having our stuff together so that we can jump on these teams and catch them while they're sleeping at the beginning of the year. They may be a little lackadaisical for two reasons. It's the beginning of the year, and they have not got their shit together because they kind of just showed up together. And it could also be that they also are lackadaisical as they've heard the news about the Raptors being bad this year. And they're just going to think that we're going to be bad, so we catch them sleeping that way also. So this is really brilliant. And in some ways, maybe the schedule makers did us a favor stacking all these tough teams at the beginning of the season. Listen, we're not going to whine and cry and say, oh, boo-hoo-hoo, they gave us such a hard schedule at the beginning of the year. No, we're going to take the challenge, and we're going to strategize on the best way to come at it and be as successful as possible. But yeah, that's a very interesting thing. And the other thing I really love about last night is that Darko's systems were on display. Anybody who doesn't think this guy's a good coach, you're a fucking idiot, is what I'm going to say right now, because he had them so organized on both ends of the court that they flawlessly executed the point of attack defense that he just implemented last week. And his passing schemes of offense were beautiful also. What did they get? 39 assists last night in a 4-quarter game. 39 assists, and that's a lot of unexperienced guys running around and guys that have not played together very much at all, and they are connecting that well. 39 assists. You know, Darko breaking the record last year for the most assists in the history of the Raptors in the season last year. He's going to break it again this year. Trust me. Oh, yeah, he will. And I'm so proud of Coach for preparing our team correctly. And you see him out there fighting. You see him out there talking to refs. You see him out there coaching his ass off. We got the right coach, y'all. I'm serious. And seeing the great results of how he got them to execute. They're listening to him, and they're buying in, and they're executing what he wants on that court, and you can see it. And you can see the results and what happened last night. Yeah. We'll play the Wizards again on Friday in Washington. We get a nice little break and get to build off of what we did last night and more training. They're back here in Toronto already today. They're going to have a practice today here in Toronto at OVO Center, and they're still in training camp. And they'll be ready for Washington again in Washington. Hopefully we'll see a repeat. Now, they got a lot of tape to watch, the Wizards, to see where they got a lot to work on. And then after that, we got to play the Celtics 2 games in a row. And that's going to be a task, and that'll be a real test. So we'll have to see how Darko's stuff holds up against the Celtics, and Darko's record of perfection in the preseason continues, hopefully. So we'll have to see. Y'all, welcome to the Raptor Freak Chat. Just put your comments in. Let's react to this game last night, and just tell me what you thought. Any kind of observations or points that you want to make about the Raptors and what we saw last night. Very, very welcome in this chat. That's right. Let's keep going, baby. Let's keep going. That's right. Bryce is saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Granted, it's preseason, and the Washington Wizards, I loved every second of it. Yeah, we deserve this. We needed this. It's been a long summer, and the end of the season last year was sucked. And to get off on a good foot in the first one and seeing so much good stuff from different people throughout the roster was fantastic. In fact, let me go talk about some of the guys I didn't give stars to. Mobo got the start instead of Scotty, and I think that was very apropos. In some ways, they were kind of doing a special for Scott and saying, you know what, we're going to let your best friend start the game in your place. And that's special because Jonathan can say, I started in my first preseason game ever. And, well, he was rough in the beginning. He was missing his defensive assignments left and right. And the Wizards were not able to score until Jonathan kind of missed assignments, and they were able to get behind him and score a bit there. So, yeah, they had a really hard time in the beginning, but, you know, there were mistakes by Jonathan, and some of them were communication mistakes. Some of them were positioning mistakes. And, well, you expect this kind of stuff from rookies, especially a guy who came from D2. And in some ways, he's got the highest hill to climb in some ways out of all the rookie Raptors. Seriously. But he cleaned it up, and he played way better in the second half, I think. 5 rebounds, including 3 offensive rebounds, and that's where we really need stuff from you. And I really did like how Jonathan was running the point. In some ways, Davion Mitchell is not really a true point guard in that kind of way. His strengths really are defensive stuff and also maybe shooting here and there, and not necessarily the best playmaker. He can play make, but I like the look, and that in some ways was portending that that's going to be Scotty instead of Jonathan. it's going to be the person that's kind of be playing that action with maybe Mitchell at the point guard, or even Quickly when he's out there with Scotty. We're going to see that kind of action. But Mobo was which is very interesting. One steal and a block, so he's getting some stat stuff on a mini level. So yeah, I don't have any problem with it. He did have a very nice one basket, and yeah, but there was an air ball at one point. So mixed results with Jonathan Mobo. Lots of room to grow. Some real promise. I like the stat stuffing, and I also like him bringing the ball up the court. I thought he was fine. Did y'all get worried about Mobo bringing the ball up the court like you would Achua in the past? That's what I asked Raptors fans. Were you a little bit worried about Jonathan Mobo bringing the ball up the court like Precious Achua from before? No, you weren't, because he seemed like he was all right. Pirtle was fine. Pirtle got out there and did Pirtle things. In some ways, I want to say once again, everybody who thinks that Jakob Pirtle is a bad trade to get him back for that first-round pick that became Rob Dillingham, well, Jonas Valanciunas eats us for lunch last night. If you do not have Pirtle in the starting lineup against him, you got to understand, you got to have somebody to match the size of the big man on the other side. And that's why a player like Jakob Pirtle is absolutely essential for the Raptors to have on his roster. And every single person that's anti-Pirtle and saying all this stupid shit, well, do you understand that a big Lithuanian man named Jonas would have ate us for lunch? He would have been sitting out on the ice fishing on us all night long if we had no match for him physically. And don't tell me Kelly could have done it, because he couldn't. And I'm probably sure Bruno Fernando could do it admirably for a bit, but these rookies ain't ready either. So know that Jakob Pirtle is essential to our team, and he neutralized Jonas Valanciunas from being the most dominant player on the court last night, because you need that mass to meet that mass. And that's just the damn truth about it. 3 for 7 from the field for the big Austrian, 7 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, 3 assists and a block, a plus 16 with 6 points in 21 minutes. So Jakob went over the 20 minutes. 1 minute over. Oh, no, Darko, you lied. He went 1 minute over. Davion Mitchell, we talked about him a lot. You know, a lot of the things I said about Shed were consistent with Davion. Davion was hounding them, absolutely hounding them. Shit disturber. The thing that both of them did that was awesome, and this is what Shed said after the game, is that he loves to do this. His favorite thing is to draw the offensive charge. So this man's got the shades of Kyle Lowry, the greatest Raptor of all time, in him. He wants to take the charges. He's most proud of taking the offensive charges. And both him and Mitchell had charges. And did you see the way they play defense is so smart? They are getting fouls on them on the other side, and they're also baiting them into fouling them on the they're not fouling them on the other side, because they're playing so well. They're making them turn the ball over by going out of bounds. They're deflecting passes. They're getting in the passing lanes. There's so many different things that Mitchell and Shed are very similar on, and they're doing. And they have really good court awareness and knowing where to get to spots to be shit disturbers. And you saw it. You saw it in it. Now, Mitchell wasn't as in the forefront as what Shed was doing, but he was doing a lot of the same things. And I love it. Mitchell, 2 for 4. He missed both his threes, but who cares? 1 rebound, 5 assists for Mitchell, plus 22, which is the highest plus minus on the team with only 4 points. So, yeah, he must have been doing something right, because they won the most while he was out on the court. Bruno Fernando got in there, and he played as the backup center, 2 of 5 from the field, 4 points in 10 minutes, 7 rebounds for Bruno. Very solid there, and 1 assist. Yeah, we're going to have to see how Bruno does. In some ways, he may be in trouble. I don't know. We'll have to see. It really depends on whether Raptors value having another big man or another guard, because it's between him and Ramsey, if you ask me. I mean, Battle has an outside shot of making the last roster spot. But in some ways, man, I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. And maybe this will be the Thursday think tank, where we're going to talk about who should get the last spot on the Raptors roster for the season. Should it be the non-guaranteed contract of Bruno Fernando gets guaranteed, or should we be getting either Jamison Battle or Jamias Ramsey to be on the team otherwise? It's a tough question. It's a tough one. I thought Bruno was fine. And I like the rebounding, and he seemed to be working really well with everybody on defense. Brendan Carlson did get in late. The two ways did get in late, the 2 big man 2 ways. Brendan Carlson 1 for 3 from 3. He took all 3 threes. 2 for 2 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, a plus 12 with 5 points in 11 minutes. He looked, there was one point where he got knocked to the ground on a play to the basket. And I said, he looks so small. Like his muscles are not big enough right now. Carlson, you're 25. And in some ways, you're going to need to bulk up for the NBA. I can already tell. Like in some ways, what Brady did last year is something you're going to need to do this year. And it may be around Christmas, you're going to just need to go on some crazy protein shake workout regimen that's like all day, every day for a while, like Grady did. Grady's had great gains with his muscle in the last year, and you're going to need it too, Carlson, if you're going to want to play in this big league, because you're not ready. In some ways, you're too weak, and I can tell you're going to get pushed around. And in some ways, you can't just be this floating big man shooter outside like Duncan Robinson. We want you to be able to block shots and hold your own physically down low. So you are going to need to hit the weight room, my guy. Seriously, that's my biggest impression of Carlson last night. Shamshay. All right, y'all. Yes, Prince Shamshay. Yes, Prince Shamshay. Y'all got his debut. Y'all got to see Prince. You wanted to see him. We weren't sure if it was going to happen because in some ways it seemed like maybe he's not going to get to play. My prediction that he played better than Alex Sarr did not come through. Alex Sarr did play better than I thought he would. And Shamshay just didn't get to play enough. But yeah, Shamshay only 6 minutes, 2 points. But that points that he got were on an amazing play that was like the eye opener while he was out there. That putback dunk that he had was so quick, and it was such a good reflex, like reaction that he did that. Like, wow. And you can see the basic physical skills of a kid who's only 18 and how he looks out there with other players in the NBA, and he belongs, and he's already like not even growing his muscles yet. Like, that's the thing. Shamshay is the weakest, smallest he's going to be in his NBA career right now. In the next couple of years, that man's going to become more and more of a big monster in this league. And all the gifts and the skills and the talent are in him. And he's eager. And like the broadcast was saying, this isn't like a normal young man who comes in immaturity. He has a maturity to him at 18 that is absolutely weird, because he's one of the oldest siblings out of his 17 brothers and sisters. So when he was growing up, he had to be the papa brother who watched all the littler siblings. So he's got a level of maturity to him already that is unforeseen in North American 18-year-olds. I'm just going to say that right now. So Prince Shamshay, wow. And I want little doses of Shamshay as we go. In some ways, if y'all had not played him last night, and let him just sit there and take in the ambiance of the crazy Bell Center, the frenzied Montreal people, and just say, all right, this is what it's like, the bright lights, and just let him get adjusted in one game sitting on the bench. I wouldn't have been mad at y'all, Masai, but no, you did put him in, and you let him get in there, and he looked good. Now, he did have the problem that we talked about. He had a lot of fouls quick. In 6 minutes, he gathered 4 fouls. So that's the thing I'm talking about, y'all. He's going to have to figure out how to stay on the floor and stay out of foul trouble. But yeah, really good stuff with Shamshay. I really like the passing by him. Did you guys see some of the passes he was trying to throw to people? Some of them unsuccessful, but really a really good eye in trying to get the ball to Brendan Carlson and near the basket with the little bounce pass. And, Shamshay's showing a little bit of everything. The sprinting up and down the court, the rebounding, the putback dunk. There's going to be some shot blocking. We saw him very much challenging people at the rim also and being a pest, even if he did get called for a foul. So he's very active, and, man, he's going to be so good, guys. I can tell right now this kid has got what it takes. In some ways, Scotty Barnes, in some ways, when he showed up with his body on draft day, I was like, this dude's an NBA player already with his body. Well, I feel the same way about Shamshay, and there's a lot of things about Scotty that I could transfer to Shamshay and say that this dude's going to be just as good as Scotty in some ways. Maybe not the same passer, maybe not the same exact build, but it'll be different in a different kind of way from him. Maybe there'll be a little bit more shot blocking with Shamshay than Scotty, although Scotty's a great shot blocker also. But I'm telling you, this kid is a level talent that's going to be up there with people like Giannis, people like Scotty, people like Luka. And y'all can think I'm crazy. Now, I don't think y'all think I'm crazy, but I think general NBA is going to probably think I'm crazy for saying that. But I really do see it. The natural gifts and the way that kid is built, and the just the package he's legit. And we're going to see little things like we did that little dunk putback as we go with him. And they're going to be really fun. Really, really fun. Let's see. Who else should I talk about that I didn't mention already? I think I talked about everybody else on the team. Garrett Temple, the only DMP. He could have played. He was available. but they decided not to use him. Instead, he was being the helpful person off the bench, and palling around with Vince. There's the picture of Vince like shaking him. Something like that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, amazing stuff, man. Amazing stuff. Let's go. Let's see. Nako's saying Shed was the best rookie on the floor. Sar played fine, but how are those winning plays, that speed, that defense, cinema? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me go look at the other team real quick since you brought him up. Sar was a lot better than I thought he'd be. 6 of 8. He was 3 for 4 from 3. He does have a lot of size, but you know what? I think he's going to be a lazy player, guys. I'm going to say that right now. I can already tell he might be a very lazy player. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 15 points, a minus 13. Kuzma, absolute disaster. 1 of 7 from the field, 2 points. Not a very good leader, and kind of like he didn't care. Valanciunas was valiant. He'd be the only 1 of 5 with 6 rebounds, only 3 points. Not really effective. Poole was the leading scorer for the Wizards. Of course, he's taking stupid shots and acting crazy out there. He did have 6 assists with 16 points. Bilal Coulibaly had a couple of bright spots. There's a lot of talent in that young Frenchman. And he had 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting, and he had 2 blocks and 2 steals. So a little bit of stat stuffing by him. And then the bench guys, nothing really. Like Bub Carrington was interesting to see, although he was 1 of 8. He got in a little bit with Shed. And Shed was saying that part of it is because him and Carrington have a history that in a training camp for the draft, they had a pre-draft workout with each other. They went at each other, and he kind of owed Bub Carrington some stuff, and he was giving him receipts last night. And that's why he was going at him and scoring over him, because they have kind of been jawing and having a little bit of a rivalry already. But Shed definitely beat Carrington on that, and Nako's right. I think Shed was the best rookie out of them. Sar may be debatable, but I think Shed was more powerful in helping to win the game. So yeah, Carrington 0 for 4 from 3, 7 points. Johnny Davis got out there for 8 points. Justin Champagny coming in the game, old Raptor. This is what happens, Justin, when you fuck around with your life and sun everybody. You end up, you're on the Wizards on a 2-way and on a team that's going nowhere. It's like, I hope you like Sioux Falls. Now you're on Washington, motherfucker. Yeah, it's too bad. You should have taken your career more seriously when you're on the Raptors and stop being a little shithead and sunning the other players like Jeff Doughton Jr. Yeah, that's what happens, bro. This league is fickle. I warned you at that time too, Justin. And now we see where you are, Justin Champagny, just holding on barely into the league on one of the worst teams as a 2-way and not even getting any meaningful minutes in a preseason game. That's pretty sad, honestly. Keyshawn George came in, the other rookie there, 8 points. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 3 of 8 shooting. He was the fan favorite of the other side because he had a huge contingency of fans in the arena supporting George on the other side. Other than that, I don't really care. Marvin Bagley, the third, came and showed up for a little bit. Brogdon, of course, sat out because he's like, I'm old and a vet. I don't need to play this kind of bullshit game in a preseason game in Montreal. So no Malcolm Brogdon last night. Yeah, looking at the Wizards just a little bit on their side. Alex Sarr, not bad. Trevor's saying, I love Chris's 3-point, very smooth. Yeah, he was hitting them nice. He didn't hit them early, but then he got in the groove and he started hitting them. And some of them were very tough shots. And even contested threes. And he nailed them. And the Montreal crowd ate up Chris Boucher doing anything on the court. It was really good. Trevor's also saying many teams will have to go and sleep early when they hear they're playing us because all the guys are not playing with them. I'm not even totally sure what that means. What do you mean sleep early? Listen, teams going to do what they're going to do, whatever. Are they going to come to Toronto? Go party. I don't care. Stay out all night and then come play the Raptors the next day because you think that they're easy. Go ahead, NBA. That's how it is this year. The Raptors are rebuilding. We're bad, okay? Just tell everybody that. Please tell them that. Tell every single playoff team that comes to Toronto in the next month or so that, yeah, they're bad. Go ahead and go out and stay out all night and enjoy the Toronto limelight and nightlife. Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry. We're not very good. Sure. Yeah, just go out. Drink your face off. Stay out all night like James Harden. Eat wings in a strip club in downtown Toronto at Zanzibar. Go ahead. Every single other NBA team that's coming to Toronto. We're going to be very, very not good this year. You go ahead and think that. Yeah. That's what I hope they do, Trevor. Seriously. Nako saying, I think I like Ulrich a little Urish. You heard how Matt Devlin called his name. He's a Urish. Is a little more, you like him a little more than Mobo. Mobo seems like he needs to get used to the NBA the most. Yeah. No, you're exactly right, Nako. In some ways, I think that Urish needs to also. Let's not get it twisted. Both of them probably do, and even Carlson to a degree. But Shed's ready. Shed's ready in certain ways for sure. And we don't know anything about Walter still because he didn't get out there. But yeah, they're going to have all their different learning paths and their benchmarks and how they go. In some ways, Shamshay has the farthest distance to go out of all of them, but he may be the furthest behind because he's the youngest and he hasn't had as much experience. So it'll be very interesting. Mobo, well, he's got a lot of things on his side. He's got a very good number one fan as a fan of the franchise face of the Raptors. And that'll make him go a long way with things that he's going to get on this team. Trust me. And if J-Mo plays somewhat good in certain ways, he'll earn it. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Cowboys saying, I love Prince Shamshay. I know he'll be our future All-Star center in the near future, but going to the G League, my guy, he's so raw, tripping and slipping you the best. Yeah, they all need the G League. I don't want anybody to be snobby and say, I don't want to go to G League. G League. No, all the rookies need to go to G League, Jacoby Walter. All y'all need to go to G League. And that'll be good for all y'all. And it'll be good for G League too. And listen, the canary in the coal mine that the Raptors are coming towards the next championship for them is a G League championship. That's exactly what happened with our team before. Fred and Pascal and them went and got a G League championship a couple years before our championship. And that wave crescendos into our team, the main roster. And that's why we need Shed, Mobo, and Shamshay and Carlson and them to go down to the G League, get a G League championship with Coach Drew Jones in the next 2 years, because the wave of the future will come into the main roster later, and we'll have that bench mob effect once again. And that's what really pushed the Raptors to the top of the Eastern Conference those years with DeMar and Kyle, was that bench mob licking at their heels and coming in, and Fred VanVleet and them were like, yeah, we're just as good as the starters. And in some ways, we're going to take more minutes than the starters because we're that good. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. And they can't do this without doing the early seedlings in the Mississauga Garden plot. And they need to go there and garden there first. And then when them flowers look good, we'll transplant them in the big garden at Scotiabank Arena. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Cowboys saying the Wizards got an ass whooping. No baby oil, no Diddy. Okay, that's gross. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Cowboys saying Kuzma, 21, 46 minutes, 2 points. Let's go Raptors. 21, 46. Yeah. Trevor's saying RJ and Grady, were on fire, unstoppable. Yes, they were. Cowboys saying our rebuild is done. It's just retooling from here. No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's going to be ups and downs. With every young core, they have to learn how to win again. And in some ways, Jamal Shedd's going to have to draw a new Goonies treasure map, just like Fred VanVleet did when he showed up as an undrafted player for the Raptors a long time ago. That's the thing. They've got to learn how to win again. And the young players have a learning curve. In some ways, it's just like why the Thunder got bounced out of the playoffs last year. Every young team has to learn. I don't care how talented they are. I don't care how good they are. You have to go through the stair steps of the NBA and the hierarchy to learn how to get there. And the Raptors did it with DeMar and Kyle against LeBron for many, many seasons before they got to the 2019 championship with Kawhi Leonard. So we got to start again. And in some ways, these young players are going to have to learn mistakes and getting around them and not making them anymore. And some of the mistakes they won't have until they have them in games against big opponents and close games. And those will be tough learning lessons. And we'll go over them every single time on this channel each day that they have games. And if they lose a game because of some sort of rookie mistake or just a learning curve for a new young team, that's when we'll talk about it, Cowboys. So no, the rebuild is not over. It's just started. It's just started. That's right. Jamal Shed is the sharpest tool in the shed. Is that what you're saying? There you go. There you go. That's pretty funny. Good job, Bobby and Masai. I love that. I love that. Let's go. Cowboy is hyped. Shed is a defensive monster. There you go. Trevor's saying Wizards need some help from the genie in the bottle. They need a lot more than that. That franchise is a dud franchise. That franchise might as well be called the Generals at this point, because that's who they are. They are the Washington Generals. And if you know that reference, you know exactly what I mean when I say that. The Washington Generals. They're going to be that this year. Seriously. In some ways, I think that the Wizards on the down low are going into some sort of weird hibernation mode of saving money and not really giving a shit about competing. Seriously. The whole contract with Jonas just smacks of this. In some ways, they needed to sign some money on their cap to not break the NBA salary cap rules. And they just add this contract, but it's a tradable contract to keep them flexible. I would say this. I think that Washington is already in the main game of capture the flag. That, whoa, what a great Americana. These motherfuckers want Cooper, is what's going on right now. And that would make sense. How American would it be if they got Cooper Flag playing for the Wizards next year? So I think that this is what's going on here. I think on the down low, them not getting a new coach and keeping the interim coach from last year, them really looking bad, like not organized. In some ways, they're already telling us what they're trying to do. They're trying to capture the flag, is what they're trying to do. That's what they're playing this year. That's right. Yeah, Shamshe will be better than Sar. I will believe this. I think that that's true. In some ways, I can already see early signs that Alexander Sar is lazy. And in some ways, he's not one of these guys that's coming in the league with goals. He's coming in because he's happy. He's in the NBA and he's getting a bag, and that's it. He's good now. And that may be part of the problem with him right there. Yeah, most saying good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Great win, wire to wire, stars of the game, RJ, Grady, Chris, DJ, and Jamison Battle. There you go, Mo. I love your list. And it's very similar to mine. RJ and Grady were key at the beginning of the game. Chris kind of taking the middle of the game, and DJ later. And Jamison Battle, fantastic once again late on. Yeah, so fun to watch the game, Mo. I hope you had a blast watching the game. I know you did. I know you did. And what a great time seeing the Raptors back on TV again. I thought that the Raptors broadcast on TSN did a fantastic job setting up the game. It was very emotional to see the collage of montage at the beginning of the Raptors history, 30 years, and going through all the different eras and seeing that I got a little teary from watching the beginning of the setup. And then, Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong, Kayla Gray doing a fantastic job as the broadcast crew, setting everything up. Very, very good job. I think that the Canada series in Montreal this past weekend went off without a hitch. Everything went really, really well around everything the Raptors did while they were in Quebec just recently. It's so good. So good. Cowboy saying Battle was awesome. Yeah, he's cool. I like him. His hair's cool. And 77, it's a cool number. It's a cool number. Yeah, let's see. Monique is on blast right here. I see that Monique has been put on blast for coming into the chat. We love our super fan, Monique Lawrence, one of our MVPs of our channel for sure, always. Wow, you guys have filled it up. I am going to need a cutoff today. This is what I should have expected because of a great game last night. Everybody's going to have a lot of opinions on what we're going to say. I guess I'll do 3 hours today. Just so you know, I will do 3 hours just so we can get them all in. Let's see. Monique saying Jamal is a dog. Yeah, I mean, he's got that dog in him. We'll say that. He's got that dog in him. That's right. Wizards looked out of sync. Wizards are not a team. Wizards not a team. And in some ways, I always say this. Sar is going to get the worst kind of leadership from veterans from Poole and Kuzma. Yeah, these aren't the good leaders you need around you. No, they're not. Those guys are not good for their rookies. And Kuzma and Poole are going to not be good leaders for these guys to get better. Kareem saying, being very receptive of what I see, it's shed over Davion in a way too early observation. Well, once again, I'll say Kareem, it's, it does look like that right now. But once again, Shed is playing against a lower team in some ways. And Mitchell has experience playing against some top-level teams from being in the Western Conference for the Kings over the years. So we got to remember the resumes. And Mitchell has already had proven time out there playing on an NBA level at a certain thing. We'll have to take it step by step with Shed. And in some ways, all in its own time. In some ways, we got succession crops growing in our yard. Well, we got to let the crops grow and bloom at the right times. And we know the quickly flower is blooming and is top notch. Mitchell's next. And then after it would be Shed. So it's all in the hierarchy still, even if Shed looked the best last night, as you said. Yeah, Mo's saying Raptors defense and offense was top notch. I love how both sides looked great last night. Sometimes we can have a really good defensive side of things and we can still win. Sometimes we can have a very good offensive night, but not a very good defensive night when we still win. But when both are hitting just like that and doing so well, in fact, let's go look at the team stats real quick. Let me go over that real quick with you guys because they're pretty interesting. The Raptors were dominant. We outshot them very much so. We shot 55% while they only shot 42%, and that is excellent defense on them. I mean, their scorers couldn't get going. Kuzma and Poole were really, really having a hard time all over the place. We got 93 shots, so we almost manufactured 20 more shot attempts than the Wizards, and that's always a good stat to look at, especially just from the Nick Nurse era of the Raptors, but also still the three-pointers, we did really good at three. We shot 40% from the three-point line. And last year, we were always mired around 30% for the most part. So the threes were much more measured and taken very well. RJ starting that trend right away with the first shot of the game. And just, I love that they took these threes with a lot of like intent and making them. And in some ways, you can just jack up threes like Jordan Poole, and it don't mean jack shit. But these guys were really smart with their threes last night, and we have really good three-point shooters. I feel like we have improved in our three-point shooting because our players are just better three-point shooters. Grady Dick's part of it. But also guys like getting at it like Brendan Carlson are part of it also. The free throws were bad. If there's one thing I'm going to yell at the Raptors for last night, it is the 8 of 12 at the free throw line, the 4 missed free throws. 2 of them are on RJ, and he's the player of the game, so we can't get too mad at him. The rebounding, amazing. 51 rebounds to 32. We got plus 19 rebounds over the Wizards, so we were dominating the boards. There were some times where the Wizards would shoot shots, and they were really bad, and there was a long rebound, and the ball would go into no man's land, and the Wizards would get a second chance. And that is an area where the Raptors still need to clean up, is that don't stand there and watch the ball going through the air, bouncing where it is. Go get it. And I've seen too many times sometimes where guys are watching the offensive rebound go to the Wizards because it's a long shot on a miss. And they're standing there watching the ball. Go get it. Don't just stand there. Go get the ball. I don't care who it is. If somebody got to go get it. This is what it is. The assist, fantastic. 39 assists. It used to be that 25 assists would make the Raptor Freak happy. But now I'm like, I may be having to raise this total. Like, Darko, I want 30 assists every night. I mean, you got 39 in the first preseason game. And that's Bellissimo basketball. That's the coach from Serbia showing that we are going to play a team game more like FIBA and none of this isolation kind of bullcrap one-on-one that the NBA turned into in the last 10 years. No. We're going to take it back to basketball being a team sport. And we're going to play off each other. And almost every single basket that we make is off an assist. That's a beautiful thing. I love that. I love teamwork. And I love Darko's system. It's so good. 8 assists, 8 steals over 6 steals from them. They did get 7 blocks. We only had 3. But we didn't need a lot of blocks. We did not, no. Turnovers, just 1 less than them. So not fast break points. I like that. And 62 points in the paint, dominating them down low, even with a big man like Valanciunas on their team. Largest lead of the game, 33 points for the Raptors. Wow. Team stats, amazing yesterday. Amazing. Just trouncing them. Trouncing the Wizards. I wonder if they're going to be any better on Washington on Friday. Seriously, how much are you going to fix things, Keith, by Friday? Seriously, you got a lot to fix. And you know what? You're probably going to have to play Scotty Barnes on Friday. Your nightmares just started this season. Oh, my gosh. What a way to start the season. The lowly Raptors, who were supposed to be a rebuilding shitty team in the East, and now all of a sudden you just got trounced and routed. Yeah, Washington's going to be a long year, motherfuckers. You're capturing the flag, bitch. Yeah, that's what it looks like it's going to be for you this year. That's right. That's going to be your championship, is trying to get Cooper Flag. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, Raptors defense, offense, top notch. Too early to say Shed is over. Guys, too early. Most saying Chris post-game made me a bit emotional. It was really nice. And it's so fitting. RJ got hurt, so he had to leave. He was the player of the game. But Chris getting to take a post-game interview with Killer Gray was fantastic. And like I said, it was too bad that Chris was sick last year when we beat the Celtics in Montreal last year, that, he didn't get to be a part of that. But, the makeup this weekend was fantastic. So Chris Boucher would double him back and get his Montreal weekend with the Raptors in preseason. Just good stuff. Yeah. Kareem saying all these pick and rolls and help defense. I attribute all of that to just being together throughout the summer. This chemistry is showing its fruition. Yeah, it's like coach wants to cultivate this. That's why he's having so many team activities. That's why he's encouraging these guys. Like they're talking about how they're not allowed to be on their phones when they're together at dinner. Then none of this kind of stuff, connection, communication. These guys are talking to each other way more on the court now. Scotty's becoming a more vocal leader, not just when he's playing. You saw him once again being Coach Scotty, jumping up and down on the sidelines and yelling help from the bench, staying engaged, even though the first huddle before the game started, Scotty's right in the middle of it right in the middle of it being active. You want to say this guy is not caring about the Raptors winning and doing well? Well, he shows it in his actions. In fact, Scotty not playing the game was probably very disappointing for a lot of people in Montreal, but this man did a good thing to make up for it. The beginning of the game, before the game, he went around and he said in his own words, he went around the whole entire arena and signed every single thing somebody wanted him to sign. So even though they didn't get to see him play, which was a huge disappointment, let's not lie, he made it up to them in some ways by autographing everything. And I know from watching Scott on Twitch for a couple years now, he hates doing autographs, guys. So he did a huge sacrifice for you fans in Montreal signing all your stuff yesterday because he wanted to make up for the fact that he wasn't going to be playing. Now, to be honest, he could have played. It's not that he's hurt, and he could have played. And in some ways, it's too bad he didn't still because I wanted to kind of see him play. He should be so anxious to get back because of being hurt at the end of the season and not playing in an NBA game for so long. Scotty, what are you doing? Well, let's just bring that anticipation up in 5 more days, and I'm sure he'll show up to play in Washington on Friday. Yeah. That's why I bet you he will. I'll bet you he will play. But he did make up to the crowd by signing a lot of jerseys and hats and all kinds of things for those Montreal fans. And I'm really, really happy about that. That's right. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy Monday. We have a squad. I think we have depth. I think that we've got bona fide a big three. But not only that, we've got a bench, and we got depth, and we got role players, and we got good defensive kind of role players. And that's going to take the Raptors a long, long way. Maybe not this year right away, but this is what we're doing. This is a long-term project. And this is the first year of the new era of Scotty Barnes being the focal point and with the young players around. Like they said, this team has 11 players on the training camp roster that are under 25. This is a very, very young team. Very, very young team. And I like what I'm seeing so far. Granted, it is preseason. It is the Wizards. But still, Daniel Barry's in here saying good morning, everybody. Y'all give a follow to Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. That's right. Kaz is in the house. Kaz, the truck driver, is in the house. Good morning, Raptor Freak family crew. Good morning to you, Kaz. And it is a great morning because the Raptors won yesterday. That's right. Piercy's saying great words of wisdom, Trevor. I agree. Bryce is saying the boys are back in time. He's singing with me. That's right. Cream saying, I noticed this last year, but it seems like Kyle Kuzma really likes Toronto and the Raptors. He wants to be with us. I don't agree with it, but he chest bumped Jakob before the game. That was awkwardly telling. Well, they're best friends because they played together in college. They're both Utah Utes. And Kyle Kuzma and Jakob Poeltl are best friends from college. It's a special friendship. So that's part of it right there, is that they're Utes. They're the Utes. The two Utes did a chest bump before the game. Okay, Joe Pesci. Okay. Yeah, but that's why. And in some ways that, it's not anything other than that. I think Kyle could really want to play in Raptors. I think he'd probably want to play anywhere other than Washington. I don't know. Kyle Kuzma is just not serious. Let's just put it that way. Kyle Kuzma is just not a serious NBA player. And I don't want him up here. There may have been a time, maybe a couple of years ago, I'd be like, yeah, Kyle Kuzma would be interesting. But honestly, I think he'd rub off our players the wrong way. Just like I was saying, what is he going to teach Alexander Sarr and Bub Carrington this year? What is he going to teach them? What is he going to teach them? I don't think he's going to teach them anything good, right? Fashion choices, maybe out-of-pocket, crazy-ass tweets about politics. I don't know what Kyle Kuzma is going to teach those rookies in Washington. Seriously. David's here. Lex, don't feel badly, man. You need to take care of your body. It's always amazing at your place, man, even just with the Burrs. Dap to you, David. I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourself. Man, he saw the amazing Blue Jays that we have in the yard here. He brought these amazing bird feeders for me to put in the yard. I'm going to check them out after I'm done. But, David, you're the best, man. And dap to you, Commissioner Trivia. And since he's here, let's do our classic card of the day. David, I love you, and thank you to you and Morgan for coming out and keeping me company this weekend. It was fantastic. And I really do want y'all to come back again, and hopefully I can be a better place with my body and not be like, and I literally had like inflammation in my stomach because I ate gluten or something that is just not good for me, and it poisoned me. So it's basically I had like food poisoning all weekend, and I couldn't be the best host. And even when I was doing my stream on Saturday, I was in a lot of pain, guys, when I did that Share the Love Club for the Raptor. I was in a lot of pain, and as soon as I got off, I went to the bed and lay down. And even yesterday, as soon as I finished my stream and the preview, I went straight to the bed and I laid down and I fell asleep for 3 hours, y'all, because I was so messed up. I'm really literally giving you guys all my energy right now when I do these streams. And when I'm done, I'm like, I'm done. I got to go lay down for like an hour or two. It's crazy. All right, let's go and do the classic card of the day. David is at 9:32, so we'll make sure, man, y'all filled it up. This is going to be a long stream. I don't care. We're excited. We're back, baby. That's right. All right, here we go. Here's the classic card of the day. It's not so classic. Let's see if you guys can get it today. It's not so classic. This is a newer card, so this is a current player. And let's see if anybody can get it. Full name. Do not half-ass it. If you write just the first name or last name, I'll be like, yeah, you don't get the points. So make sure you get the points by getting it right. Who is that, guys? Can you guys tell who the classic card of the day is today? This is some of the fun we do on the Raptor Freak stream, reacting every day. We do a classic card. Jeremy Grant is right. Tom Dookie getting it today. Jeremy Grant of the Detroit Pistons is a classic card of the day. I guess it's not really classic if it's like current. But yeah, it's the card of the day. So Tom Duke is going to get Jeremy Grant in the classic card contest of the day. David, you can adjudicate the points you want to give him for that. So awesome. Good stuff, man. Good job, Tommy. First shot, getting it. It's like he shoots, he scores. And no other chance. It's like, boom, he made it. Tommy hitting it right there. Just like RJ at the beginning of the game. He shoots, he scores, and boom, there it goes. Nako saying, Lex, make sure you get your fiber in. No, I do. Man, I have such a limited diet at this point, Gerald. You know about my diet problems over the years, being my friend for like a decade now. It's just that in some ways I have to be so careful at this point because I really do I get incapacitated. It's literally like my digestive system gets inflamed from foods that I'm allergic to, and I just can't. I can't do anything. And it started when I was going to get them. It was something I ate before I even saw them. And it just messed me up the whole weekend. But I cleared most of it out. I'm sure you guys don't need to know that. But Canadian Dana's in the house. We love Dana. Dana's a huge Blue Jays fan and also a huge Raptors fan, a great Canadian sports fan. Let's go. And morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Dana. Any two-finger salutes this morning? I don't know. I don't think we have any two-finger salutes. If I was going to give a two-finger salute to anybody, I'd maybe give it to Vince still. Although I would say this, Vince, you were way more humble on the broadcast today. In some ways, you were honoring being a Raptor alumni way more better. In some ways, you dressed a little bit better than your court appearance a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I'll have to give you credit. You wore a jacket and you kind of dressed up a little bit better. And you were a little bit more humble. You did still kind of brag about yourself a bit. And you didn't apologize still. But in some ways, I get it. The Raptors really want us to forgive Vince. And us old heads like me that can't really forgive him because the Cardinals sin of quitting on a team and admitting it and kind of shitting all over our team. I don't forget that shit. I'm sorry. And in some ways, I'm still going to be that holdout until you come correct. But it did a little bit better yesterday. I'm serious. I'm going to be watching every move that he does this season with our Raptors as far as honoring him. And Vince, if you can be more humble and just be a little bit more gracious towards the fans, in some ways, you're not really talking to us yet. You're talking to the team. You're talking about your whole part and everything, but you still haven't said things specifically to Raptors fans because in some ways, once again, I'll say this. You have a problem with us because we booed you for 15 years in the league. Yeah, we did. We booed the shit out of you after you fucking crossed us like you did when you left. And in some ways, you after years and years and years of getting booed back in Toronto, I get it. You don't like us. And that's why this is such a weird retirement for the jersey, is because deep down, in some ways, we've hurt Vince deeply because he's a sensitive man. And in some ways, he doesn't want anybody to hate him. Well, why did you fucking quit on us and then shit all over us when you left? That you wouldn't have had us hate you so bad if you just had not broken the cardinal sin of a basketball player and not tried, not jumped. Not that you could have gotten moved out of here without doing that. They would have tried to help you get out of here, but then you were like wishy-washy. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Vince anymore. This is about the Raptors, and I don't need to give any two-finger salutes today. That's right. Fiercely saying, I don't understand why Jonas went to that shitty team. Such a waste, in my opinion. Same for Kuzma. Why waste his time? Oh, well, it's their problem. Our Raptors are hooping yesterday. It's like this. Certain teams in the league, and I'm going to say Washington and Portland, are the bottom last stop in the league. Maybe Charlotte even a little bit too. Yeah, these are teams where if you find yourself on these teams, you better get your ass in gear because you may be one step out. Because in some ways, these teams are the teams that you go to when you've got all your chances done in other places. Kuzma is a misfit toy, just like in Rudolph the Reindeer. They go to the one island with Hermie, the dentist, and this is what the Wizards are. There's just pool, same thing, cast off, Wizards. You're the Wizards now. You're not a pool, brother. You're not a splash brother, my guy. No, you've been dissed by Steph and Draymond, and you're sent to exile in Washington Wizards, prisoners of Azkaban. So it's just how it is, man. It's just how it is that you got to have these kind of teams around the league always. In some ways, they want us to be one of those teams, but we have too much pride. We are too good in our front office to be a team like the Wizards or the Trailblazers. But if you find yourself on those teams, you may need to look in the mirror and say, oh shit, I'm just one step from being out of the league. Now, Jonas is a special case. Jonas, in some ways, did this in a very smart way. He got himself on a very economical contract that is very highly likely he's going to be a Laker in the near future, or some other team that will be very willing to trade for him because it's very attractive. So don't worry about Jonas. He's just biding his time. In some ways, he's using the Wizards for a means to the ends by the end of it. And yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Yeah. Let's go. Good morning, Raptor Freaks, from Neil the Blackhawk. Let's go, Blackhawk. Big up to you, man. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Oh no, Lex. Hope you got on the men. Get on the men soon. Excuse me. Health comes first. Season changing will be another level for your body too. Please take care of your health first. I promise you, Cool Cat. I'm going to stay really in touch with myself. In some ways, I have to be very careful about what I eat. And in some ways, I can't eat like crazy either. In some ways, I was really shocked at the amount of food that David and Morgan eat. I can't eat that much food because my system will go overloaded and I'll have a lot of problems. So I had to slow down with them. I was kind of overwhelmed while they were here because they were eating so much food. And in some ways, I can't do that. I eat one big meal a day. And that's it. I can't eat a whole bunch because my system just can't handle it. And as long as I eat very healthy food, I'm good. But yeah, enough about me. Let's keep talking about the game. Stargate's here. Good to see Stargate, our man, the machine. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. He works for Rogers, by the way. Good look at some of the newbies on the team. It's very, very early, but Jamal Shed looks impressive. You know what? It's just those qualities that you see from a guy like Kyle Lowry, those qualities that you see from a guy like Fred VanVleet. He's in that lineage. He's what Red VanVleet should have been. Shed VanVleet. Shed VanVleet is better than Red VanVleet. And the lineage of Lowry to VanVleet, well, there's a blip. But Shed's coming to pick up that baton off the floor that was left there by Malachi. And I love it. I love it so much. I knew there was something different about Jamal Shed when I saw him punch somebody in the nuts at Summer League. I was like, damn, this man's going to do anything it takes for the Raptors to win. And if he's willing to punch some people in the nuts, get that man so mad at him. You saw that? That was so funny. That guy was so mad at Shed when he punched him in the nuts at Summer League, man. That's what I'm talking about right there. He's willing to punch some people in the nuts, so we'll help the Raptors win. That's it right there. That's it right there. Nako saying, I think Kuzma could have been traded to the Mavs, but he asked to not be traded because he thought the Mavs weren't contenders. Well, I'm telling you, this is a low IQ individual. It's not a very smart man. Have you ever looked at his Twitter? Seriously, go read his Twitter. His Twitter is absolutely idiotic. Let's just put it that way. Cool Cat saying, good to see a preseason game. Basketball gods, please, no more injuries and heal our players very fast. Do not worry about our injuries right now. They're half-ass injuries. They're not real ones. These are precautionary injuries. Sure, Bruce Brown's a real injury. He had surgery. He has to recover. But in some ways, Jacoby Walter, if it was the old NBA, he probably would have played. It was the old NBA, we probably would have seen Emmanuel quickly. But it's preseason. It doesn't count. No reason to worry. And even RJ getting hit by Jonas, I'm not worried about this. In some ways, it's just give him a quick hook. In fact, when Davion got hit and he got hurt, like he kind of did a hamstring, spread his legs. And he kind of got, and he felt something in his back of his leg. You know, he wasn't that hurt. He could have walked it off and continued to play. And he went to the bench after that. They put Shed back in. Because in some ways they wanted Shed to get more minutes because he was playing so good. And they're like, well, Mitchell looks like he just got hurt. He's limping a little bit. So they took him out. And Mitchell went and sat at the end of the bench. And one of the Raptors coaches came over to him and said, no, you got to go to the back, bro. He's like, wait, but I'm not that hurt. I could just sit here. He's like, no, you got to walk to the back. I was like, this is weird. This is like the Raptors assistant coach told Davion Mitchell to walk to the back. But he came right back out and he did play again. And in some ways, there was a point where I saw it on the TV where it's like Mitchell was sitting and they said, no, you got to go to the back to get checked out. And Mitchell was like, I'm fine. I don't need to go back there. So realize there's different levels of injuries in different places. And in some ways, we're being extra, extra careful. And why not? We want to give an extended look to the bench. In some ways, Scotty not playing yesterday was very much by design because he knew he was going to eat up 20 minutes that could have gone to his friend Mobo. So it's that kind of stuff right now with what we're doing. We're exploring the new players and who in the training camp needs to get that last roster spot. And people like Jared Roden and Jamison Battle, they need to be out there more than Emmanuel Quickly and Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett. So that's a bit of it right there. Fiercely saying Shed is super quick. Mitchell is extremely solid as a backup. Even Carton was impressive. My goodness. Any news on RJ? He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about this at all. I'm not worried about this at all, guys. David saying, I don't know, man. Those 41 games are looking closer and closer to be within reach. David, I might have to say you were right. Seriously. Although this is the way we are as a Raptors nation. We know this as fans. We overreact in the positive when we have games like this. And then when there's a really bad game, we overreact the other way. So come on, y'all. Let's be a little less like bipolar. Let's kind of be even keel. Even in your own life, this is actually a good life skill. If you're one of these people that just like is really at one extreme or the other all the time, stop. It's bad for your mental health. In fact, this can be a part of like, different things that you have problems in your life. It was like where you're rarely high, you're like way up, but you have these crashing lows. You don't want that in your life. So come on, Raptors Nation. I'll give you an assignment this year, Raptors Fan Nation. Let's stop being so over dramatic and reacting to every little thing the Raptors do. Whether today, in some ways, we're going to have a proclivity to start saying, oh, we're going to win the championship now. No, we're not. Let's be realistic and understand the parameters of what we just saw. We're playing the Wizards in preseason. We'll have a better test next Sunday when we're matched up against the champions. Trust me. And we'll see better where we're at then. Watch. I want to beat the Celtics one of these preseason games, whether it's the one in Boston or the one in our own home arena. We need to beat the Celtics in one of these preseason games. I'm telling you right now, it'll feel real good if we do. And I think we will. I honestly think we will. I think we're going to steal one from them. Now, they beat the Nuggets in both the games they played in Abu Dhabi this weekend. And they're 2-0 already right now. But I want to predict right now, one of the two games against the Celtics in the preseason, we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to lose one of them, though. And Darko's unblemished preseason record will fall from being perfect. But I want to win at least one of them. I say we can get a 50-50 with the Celtics in preseason. That's a big accomplishment. Seriously. In some ways, we got to see where they're at with discovering their team in training camp and who's going to make their roster too. Because it could very well be we play the Celtics in one of those games and either Jason or Jalen are not playing all of a sudden. Maybe very key Celtics are sitting in certain games and we're able to pounce because of that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, RJ, a.k.a. Freight Train, was explosive. He's just so fun to watch. And he means it. He's playing for us, guys. He's one of us. He's from Mississauga. He's Canadian. And he, in some ways, it just hits harder. In some ways, these guys like RJ and Shed, they teach us what it means to really have passion and play your ass off and really, really play your full energy on the court and leaving it all out there. That's those kind of players are like. And in a league where there's a lot of people half-assing because they just want to collect NBA checks and show up and do the minimum they can, when you have players like Rowan Barrett Jr. and Jamal Shed, you're getting good effort from them all the time. Like Shed didn't take any time off, and that man was tireless, and he went crazy. And that's the reason why he won so many games when he played in college at Houston, is because that's what wins basketball is effort. And these guys are giving effort. And RJ is a freight train, hard to stop, very, very hard to stop. He picks them apart, and I love it. I love it. Fiercely saying, Cowboy, good one, no Diddy. Yeah, no Diddy, guys. No Diddy. No bringing up Diddy. This is Raptor Freak Channel. We ain't got no freak out parties here. All right, no freak out parties. No. No Diddy. I gotta bag it up. No Diddy. No, we gotta bag it up. Throw it out with the trash tomorrow. That's right. No Diddy. All right, no diggity. All right, there we go. Monique saying, I'm not worried about Davion. I know he will do great things with us. He's fantastic already. I like him. He's fitting in really well. He loves our nation. He said that he's feeling the love from us already, from Raptors fans on social media and where he's going in places. This is great. It's a great fit. In some ways, he's really excited. In some ways, he's got to be very jubilant to be on a team where he's getting a chance now. Sacramento was an afterthought. He wasn't really part of the picture that was forming with the Kings. And now he's got a new lease on life north of the border with us. And it can't hurt that the Baylor player has a Baylor under apprentice sitting next to him named Jacoby Walter also. They keep it in the family. Jacoby loves Davion Mitchell and vice versa. And these kind of pairings make these connections easier. When you have Oshai Abaji with Grady Dick, that's a great synergy because there's a lot of relationship already built between the two of them as Kansas Jayhawks. So there's very smart intricacies to our roster building by Bobby and Masai that allow for things like Jonathan Mobo and Scotty Barnes is what I'm saying right there. These guys play more for each other. Let's not get it twisted. Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett coming together from New York, they are best friends. They were when they were on the Knicks, and they keep that friendship on the same team now. So those kind of connections, you play more for your people. Just trust me. It's like, how do you feel about your family and your friends? You're going to go do something for them, right? That's the kind of thing that's going on the themes in the Raptors right now. We're going to go do stuff for each other because that's my brother. That's my guy. That's the dude I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with on the floor in Palm Beach when we were watching old NBA clips. Yeah, that's my guy, J Mo. That's right. That's right. You're going to do stuff for them. That's right. That's right. Kareem saying, I'm an avid user of baby oil after my showers. Now I just feel guilty. That is really weird comment out of the blue, too. I don't know. Do we need to know this about you, Kareem? I don't know if we do. I do not know if we needed to know this. Kareem say, all right, Seymour saying, right. I felt weird grabbing a bottle in the grocery store, looked around before picking it up. I felt like, what are you guys talking about baby oil for? Like, what is this? Oh, no, don't do this. You guys are bringing Puff Daddy in here some more. No. No Diddy. I mean this, a no Diddy rule, guys. Just because he has freak out parties doesn't mean the Raptors freak ain't got nothing to do with this, y'all. Stop this now. All right. Fiercey saying, agree with Nako. The Wizards were out of sync and kept having weird turnovers. Clearly, they haven't worked out together this summer. Special mention to Jordan Poole, flopping as usual. Yeah, I knew you'd be watching for that, Fiercey. You love checking Jordan Poole for his falling on the floor, just inexplicably. Just a Jordan Poole fell on the floor. Well, that's what a pool of water does. It just on the floor. That's what it does. Tommy's saying Emmanuel and Scotty are watching the game together, probably enjoyed themselves. I know I might be a shedhead for sure. You're a shedhead? See, I don't like that. It sounds like we're calling ourselves shitheads. Are we shitheads? No, we go shedheads. I don't know, man. We got to work on this one. In some ways, I reject this nickname because it sounds like we're calling ourselves shitheads. So I don't know. Shedheads? Shedheads? I don't know. We can do better than this. Let's take them out to the shed. Just like old JR used to say on WW, took him out to the whipping shed. That sounds crazy too. Anyways, all right. Fiercely saying, I don't like Shedhead. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. I don't know. Cream saying, sign me up. I'm a Shedhead. All right, Shedhead. Shed is great. That's right. I love it. Cream saying, look, there's Shed's head. There you go. Tommy putting Shed in our chat. If you want to have the emoticons for our new watchers, you got to join as a member of the channel. You can have all these really cool emoticons of the Raptors heads. When you talk in the chat, it's fun. Let's see. Cowboy saying the Raptors air fried the Wizard chef was like, we don't need the barbecue, save the coals. There you go. Yeah, there was a bit of that. Chef Darko with the red eyes. Very much. Yeah, poor Keith, man. That team's in trouble. This is going to be a very long season for Washington. Like I said, they played their A-plus team, their starters, the best the Wizards got on the court on their starting lineup last night, and they got blown out by a team that was missing two all-stars for our team, honestly. Yeah, I call Manuel Quickly an all-star because we know he's going to be an all-star type player soon. You know he is. Yeah, David's saying nothing like watching Poole, Kuzma, Kispert, and JV getting destroyed by rookies and G Leaguers. Laugh out loud. It's going to be a rough year for Washington. Yeah, they have no connection, and they have no leadership also. I can tell. They have no leadership whatsoever. Fiercely saying Malachi should be labeled as a shooting guard, not a point guard. Yeah, he's a combo guard, but he never really did set up anybody right on the team. And we see Jamal Shed already doing point guard kind of things last night. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Malachi. He's in training camp with the Spurs right now, and he's fighting for one of the last spots. He could very well be cut by the Spurs by the end of training camp, and he's out of the NBA, guys. Seriously, he could be on their G League team. I don't know. Does he have G League eligibility at this point? I don't know if he does. Man, Malachi may be playing in Europe very soon. Let's just put it that way. Cream saying Vince is still just speaking vomit. Yeah, Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong are really trying hard. The Raptors are trying really, really hard to smooth this over. And I know a lot of fans don't agree with me, and they really do love Vince already, and they're fine with everything. I'm still not there, guys. It went better, though, last night. And honestly, I like the effort of Vince to show up this weekend and be in Montreal for the whole weekend representing the Raptors. Him being around Jerome Williams doesn't hurt either. Honestly, I love the JYD. There's no problem with the JYD. JYD can, if he talked to me personally and said, if Jerome wrote me a message on Facebook, we're Facebook friends. He said, Raptors Freak, stop going after my friend Vince, man. He's a great man. If he asked me to do that personally, I would stop because I have that much respect for the JYD and the Dog Pound. But yeah, in some ways he did better. He did better. I like that he did the La Maison and he wore a nice outfit and he sat with Jerome and told stories to the Montreal crowd. I like that he showed up and he called a little bit of the game with Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong, and he was mostly okay. He didn't make anything like worse as far as like dissing our team in an underhanded way or anything like he'd said at the court in Dixon court. That was really disastrous as far as what he said. I think that they've talked to him and they said, dude, you need to take this more seriously because they're really watching you. People like the Raptors Freak and other people in the Raptors Nation. And in some ways, you really need to watch what you're saying. Like you actually said, if our players need help to get off our team, you'd help them. And I'm like, yeah, we heard you. We're listening. So Vince, watch what you say. Seriously, if you want us to win over us, to be okay with your jersey going up there, you need to be a little bit more pro Raptors and really mean it. Don't half-ass us. Don't be acting like this. Maybe the romance of being on the Raptors from the beginning of your career is coming back and we're not ops anymore. I don't know. I'm feeling this out. We'll see by the end of the season. We got your jersey retirement on November 2nd, and we're going to do something special for you on the 25th anniversary of your dunk competition in February. So there's going to be a lot of Vince stuff this whole entire year. And, well, let's see by the end of the season. Maybe things will be healed up between me and him. But there's still opportunities, Vince. And even last night, while you were on the air, you could have done the easy thing and said, listen, I want to say something really sincerely to old Raptors fans who've been watching the Raptors for the 30 years and when I played for them. Listen, I may have made some mistakes at the end of my career as far as like things that made me look bad and maybe shouldn't have done. And I sincerely think if I could have taken back some of the things that I would have done them just a little bit differently. I would. That's all I want to hear, Vince. That's all I want to hear, seriously. But at some point, you said recently you don't feel like you have anything to apologize to Raptors fans. Well, I'm still one of these Raptors fans. I have never left. I've been with the Raptors since you left, and I've been the same action, the same Raptors fan, diehard, like I have been this whole entire time. And I still haven't heard jack shit to smooth over the fucking horrible, toxic way that you left our team. And I'm sorry. In some ways, somebody wrote on Twitter last night, Vince Carter tried to destroy the Toronto team. And I mean, that's not far enough to like kind of Winders to. Think about this. He saw Vancouver get taken out. Steve Francis not coming there and saying, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Stu Jackson ran in the ground and they're in Memphis. And Vince maybe started thinking at that point, well, the Memphis Grizzlies are now a thing. And maybe Toronto will be next. I got to get the hell out of here. I'm trying to leave. And in some ways, maybe he thought him leaving and destroying us might have made us lose our team too. I mean, I don't know. In some ways, I don't think he was thrilled with us for a long, long time after that. We showed a lot of hate towards him. We booed the hell out of him when he was on New Jersey. And in some ways, you know, there was a lot of op energy between Vince Carter and the Raptors franchise that the young fans just don't understand. And I've tried to get across to them. We can show all the dunk highlights. We can talk about all this stuff and how it's effect on the Canada and the young players in Canada and stuff like that. That's all great. But I don't think the young players absolutely understand how much of an op Vince Carter was to the Raptors for a while. And was he secretly on the inside of the NBA wishing and hoping for our demise as a team? Because even when he said something about the Raptors winning the championship, well, that was a special moment, a moment I never thought I'd ever see. Yeah, maybe because you tried to kill us, but you didn't finish the job, motherfucker. That's what I'm saying right there. I mean, seriously, this is crazy, man. That's right. Let's see. David's saying the GOAT, Flynn, not Vince. Okay, there you go. He still loves Malachi. I don't know why he's still standing for him. It is what it is. Okay, I would say alley-oop to David for that. You know what? I'm going to give David an alley-oop for being a fantastic guest this weekend in my absence. And I have to give a lot of credit to them for being autonomous with outside of me. And that's really, really good. I'm going to give you a 20-pointer, man. You're 259 down, David, now. 259 dunks. Big-time dunk there, 20-pointer. Just now. Yeah. Bryce is saying Roden looked big out there. I thought he was 6'8" and he's only 6'5". I thought he was great. Like he did really good. He's kind of an afterthought to me. You know, when we get these players who are on other teams and they don't work out and they come here and I don't really know much about them, I always think, okay, this guy's probably just going to come through and leave. Kind of like Jackson a couple years ago when he was in our training camp. I really do feel like he's like that, but he did show some really nice things last night. So maybe he does have some say in who's going to be the last roster spot for the Raptors season this year. Because, man, I didn't think he'd be in the running. I really do think that front runners are Fernando and Ramsey. I mean, Ramsey's amazing. Seriously, Ramsey does all that defensive stuff like the other guards, and he has a whole other offensive side to him. It's spectacular, whether it's the dunks or the threes. Jamias Ramsey, oh my gosh. In some ways, we may need to do point guard power rankings for the Raptors without Manuel, the backup point guards. And right now, Shed's number one. Mitchell's probably number two. I may say Ramsey's number three, then Carton, and then like whoever else is down there, right? Like who's the other one? Who's the other one? I think it's just those four. So yeah, I think Carton's at the bottom of the pile right now. And would the Raptors front office actually consider flipping Carton off of the two-way and giving it to an extra guard that isn't like Ramsey, just in case, so we can keep Ramsey and Bruno Fernando? I don't know. I mean, that kind of flexibility is still there. You can switch your two-way still, just so people know. Yeah, let's see. Tom's saying, how many more 50-point games has he got in him? A couple dozen, probably. You mean Malachi? I don't know if they'll be in the NBA, but they'll be in Pro-Am games and maybe overseas. Let's see. Cowboys saying Roden is like a linebacker. 905s are going to be champions. Okay. Yeah. People that have not watched the Raptors 905 in the past, this is going to be a great year to start watching them, because this is going to be a lot of fun to see these young rookies play on that level. And I think we're going to tear it up in the 905. Seriously, we have so much talent at that level right now. So much talent. And it's going to be very fun to watch the team that plays in Mississauga. I'm telling you right now. That's right. Bryce is saying they were glazing Vince for too long. They really, really were. And in some ways, I know they're overdoing it because of people like us. That some of us are not totally agreeing with the Vince Carter jersey retirement. They're trying to win us over, and they're really trying to institutionalize it. In some ways, I applaud them for it. I get it why you're trying to do this, Raptors organization. But in some ways, you can't change the fans and how they are. And if they feel a certain way, they're going to feel a certain way. The only person who can fix this is Vince. In some ways, I said JYD could fix it if he calls me, he personally talks to me. But otherwise, I mean, listen, and I'm serious. Jerome has messaged me back and forth. We've been in contact with each other, and he has watched this channel. So it's not like it'd be out of the blue for Jerome Williams to message me or talk to me. But if he said something to me and said, yo, be nice to Vince and get okay with this, I would actually listen to Jerome. Seriously, I would. Because I'd be like, all right, I have a lot of respect for you, a junkyard dog, and I will listen to you. I'll listen to you. Yeah. David's saying it fiercely. Is that shitheads or shed heads? See, that's what I'm saying. I think it's too close to being shitheads. I don't know. What did they call him like when he was in Houston? What are his fans there? What are y'all calling yourselves? Shedheads? Is it shedheads there? Oh my gosh. Kareem saying, is Malachi still in Detroit? Probably doing real estate. No, he's on the training camp roster for the Spurs. And he's trying to make the Spurs, but he's in the same position as Jamison Battle and Jared Roden. Yeah. Most saying Chris shooting looks much faster. His release is faster. Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. Chris always kind of had a slow setup, and then like that weird. He used to shoot with both his hands like this. Y'all remember that? He kind of used to shoot like a Bill Laimbeer three, but now he's got a little bit more one hand with a guide shot. And it is a quicker release. That's a very astute eye by the superfan Monique Lawrence. Cowboys saying that was awesome that the Raptor mascot jumped in front of Vince and all them. Yeah, the Raptors awesome. We love the Raptors so much. Yeah, San Antonio's right. Let's see, not real estate, at least a coaching gig for high schoolers or something. I don't know what he's going to be doing, but either way, that's fine. Humper Dunker, okay, you guys are bringing that up again. Let's see. All right, let's have some semblance of order with the chat. Seriously, I would like you guys to stop putting in all the bullshit and give me nuggets, because I will be here for 3 hours, 4 hours today, and especially on reaction. I want everybody to get a chance to write in facts or questions or comments about it, and all this extra shit that's in here with the emoticons and the kind of just one little thing in here. I want y'all to cut it out, especially on reaction day. Well, I want us to be more serious in some ways, because I'll be here all fucking day and I haven't felt well. And if you guys have kind of weird comments in there, I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to skip them. Like kind of just humper dunker and this like that. Seriously, let's have this show kind of like y'all are cue cards for like subjects you want to talk about with the game, questions about the game, or observations you had about the game. And let's cut out some of the extra shit, because I don't want to have really extra long streams this year. And I think this is the easiest way to cut it out. And I know some of y'all are more likely to post just crap comments over and over again, and some of you aren't. And I appreciate the people that kind of comment less and give me like material to do on the stream instead of just like trying to be funny and bullshit. All right. So thank you. Thank you. You can be funny, but do it in the right way. Okay. David saying at Raptors superfan Monique agreed. He got those threes up nicely. Yep. All right. And Nako's saying Malachi's in San Antonio. Yep. We've got that covered. In some ways, I don't want so much repetition. Let's see. No swearing awareness month. That's right. Common crazy. I remember that. Carlos saying, morning Lex and Freak Nation. We got some nice pieces. Never doubt Messiah and Bobby. Once again, that's a great message right there. Carlos saying, in some ways, anybody who hates our front office, who has a problem with the Raptors front office, will look at what they did this offseason as far as with trades and the draft. They did a fantastic job. Davion Mitchell is a fantastic turnaround for Jalen McDaniels. Oh my gosh. And then the second day of the draft, the first ever second day of a draft in the NBA's history, we cleaned house and got a whole bunch of really good players in that second day of the draft with Mobo, Shamshay, Shed, and Carlson after the draft as an undrafted player. Yeah, very, very good stuff. I love it. Fiercely saying, who's Justin Champagnie sunning now in Washington? Nobody. He ain't got nobody to son. In some ways, it's like it is what it is. I feel bad for the guy in some ways because he had that gumption. Now, when he was out there playing last night, did he have that fire that he had as a rookie with the Raptors when he came in with Scotty and Delano? No, he didn't. Did you see him getting after the boards like he did when he was on the Raptors? No, he's older and jaded. And in some ways, he understands the NBA game a bit better. But in some ways, he's lost that edge that he used to have too. It's sad. In some ways, this is what I'm saying. You got to take your NBA career more seriously. And the way Justin Champagnie was acting in his rookie year with us, in some ways, I was like, yeah, this guy's not being serious. And in some ways, that's why he had to go. That's why he had to go. That's right. That's right. Cowboys singing, I got 5 on it. Okay, I don't mind that. That's pretty good. Nako saying, Kareem, not as much as I would a Jamal Shed jersey. I don't know what that's about. He's saying, when Washington plays in Toronto, we need to start a chant. Who's your daddy? Yeah, I don't know why we need to do that in some ways. Just for Justin, that's no point in that. There's no point in that. Fiercely saying the crowd cheering for Boucher was pure joy. Yeah, that was awesome. And like I said, Chris Boucher had a perfect weekend, and I'm so happy for him. Seriously, I'm so happy for him. Monique saying definitely in for a great season. I don't know. I hope so. It's maybe a very dark, difficult season still. It may be tough at times like last year. I hope it's mostly good. And you know what? Let's see how we feel by the time December 1st rolls around, Monique, because by then we may have like a record that's like 3-20 or something. And it may be very difficult already. I hope you're right. But in some ways, I know we're going to have a bad record in the first part of the year. I know we are. So I just want people to be ready for that just in case. Cowboys saying, I know it's early to say, but I think the bench mob is back, baby. It is a little early, but I think you're right. I think that it will be back in the next 2 years. In the next 2 years, it will be. There's the spray paint. I see the spray paint. Trevor's saying, Lex, you said Jamal, but it was Davion who gave Kelly the ball to make those 3-pointers. No, that's not actually true. Some of it is, it's both of them. But the passing, it was Jamal Shed who set up the connection. Because listen, Kelly didn't play with Davion. Davion was the starter, and he played with Jakob. And then the bench came in, and Jamal Shed was playing alongside Kelly Olynyk. So that's how I know the difference right there, is that when they took the starters out, Mitchell was playing with Pirtle and Mobo and Grady and RJ. And then they brought the second team in, and Kelly was paired up with Jamal Shed. So, Trevor, you're wrong, just so you know. They look alike. That's part of the problem. Carlos saying Shedhead's in the house. All right. He likes it. He likes being a Shedhead. Seymour saying Grady has been unlocked. Grady's doing better and better. I really am very proud of Grady, and the work he's put in is showing up on the court. I am Shake saying, how bad is RJ's injury? Anyone know? It's not bad. Seriously, it's like running into a wall. You may have a little bruise on your shoulder, and you're fine. There's nothing wrong with RJ. In some ways, like I said, he got the quick hook because it's a preseason game. He doesn't need to play anymore. He scored 17 points in 14 minutes. Like he doesn't need to do anything else. It's the same thing with Grady. Grady and him both went off early, did their work, and they didn't need to play for the rest of the game because they came in and did what they needed to do. So nobody should be worried about RJ Barrett. Seriously, they really, really shouldn't. Let's see. Kareem saying, I feel like I'm going to get mad at Kelly a lot this year. There's something off-putting about him with me. I'm still trying to figure it out. On the positive side, he wore a headband and not a bra strap. Kelly is awkward. Kelly's not the best athlete. Kelly has gotten his NBA career through really hard, gutsy, like gritty work. In some ways, I've described Kelly Olynyk as a hockey basketball player, and that's part of it. It's not pretty sometimes. Some ways he's slow. In some ways he's clumsy. In some ways he's going to do things that look really ugly at times. But I love him for it. In some ways it's creative. Some ways he may flip a shot up over his head behind him, or he may fall over awkwardly. But he's doing things effectively and making things happen. And that's all that matters. It may look very ugly at times, Kareem, and that may be your problem with him right there. Yeah. Kareem saying RJ has a shoulder contusion. It's like a nagging Charlie horse. Should be good by next week. Yeah, he's going to be fine. I'll bet you he'll be fine in like 2 days, and he'll be playing on Friday. He's not going to be out or anything. If they don't let him play on Friday, it's maybe because Emmanuel and Scotty are back, and RJ's just getting a rest day for that game. So there's a lot of flexibility in this. It's not like we're in the fray of the season and the games are coming fast and furious. In some ways, this is a beneficial time. And in some ways, y'all are making a way bigger deal out of RJ, partly because of they made it a big deal. I'm from my eye and seeing what happened. That's a regular play that happened with him and Valanciunas. And normal games, he wouldn't even come out. It's just that it was a preseason game, and there's a reason. They'll go check him out anyway. I don't think it was that hurt, guys. Seriously. Cowboys saying everyone Shamshay the like button. I like that. And I'm Shake saying that's good to hear. And Seymour saying headband over the bra strap. I don't know. I don't know what's under there. Here we got one of our old Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year, Shere Khan, the best commenter on Raptors Tonight post-game thing. I'm wondering, you wanted that post-game last night, Shere Khan, to talk about your Raptors winning in the preseason game against the Wizards in Montreal. He's saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Wasn't too optimistic about this roster on paper, but seeing them on the court gets me excited for the season, no matter what the outcome. Welcome to the North Jungle. I love it, Shere Khan. So happy to see our past Rookie of the Year show up in the chat. Thank you, Shere Khan, for coming back. And always astute questions and observations having to do with the Raptors games and reaction. And we're going to give Shere Khan a dunk for showing up and coming back in the chat once again. Here you go. You're going to get a 5-pointer. I'm going to put you at 37 there. So Shere Khan, you're at 37 dunks right now. Seymour saying Mitchell and Ramsey have chemistry from Sacramento too. There you go. That's something I forgot, that Ramsey was on Sacramento for a while there too. That totally makes sense, Seymour. Great point. Great point. Cowboys saying Shere Khan in the house. Let's go. That's right. I'm Shake saying, do you go to any games in the season? I often go to about 7 or 8 games a season. I usually try to go once a month. I was going to go to the first preseason game in Toronto against the Celtics on the 15th. I may still go to it, but I'm also on the fence about even going this year. I moved out of the city. I don't live as close to the arena as I used to. And also, I'm kind of thinking about boycotting because of the Vince retirement. Seriously, nobody else has to do it, but I may do it just on a personal level. Because in some ways, I don't totally agree with this. I really, really don't, with putting 15 in the rafters. And in some ways, my way of protest is I'm not going to games this year. But I may go. It depends on Vince. Vince has to come clean. If Vince can do things right, maybe I will come back and spend money at the arena going to games. We usually have an event where the Raptor Freaks will get together and get tickets together and all go together. We'll see. I'm Shaked. If you're interested in that kind of thing, we'll let you know. Just keep watching the channel. Kareem saying the former Rookie of the Year is back, baby. That's right. Shere Khan's in the house. Meet Andrew. Andrew's our current Rookie of the Year right now. So, yeah, we got different Rookies of the Years from different years. We got Brian from To The Point in the house. What's up, King? Good morning to you. What's up, Freak Nation? Sorry I missed y'all yesterday. I had to watch my Vikings open a can of whoop ass in London. And thanks for the love on my VC video. That's right. Brian has a new video out that I was supposed to appear on, which is about the Vince Carter retirement. Y'all go watch it. Give him some follows and some views on his latest stuff and subscribe to his channel, T.O. The Point. It's a basketball, Raptors, Canada basketball channel. Really, really good stuff over there. Brian does. That's right. Peace to you, my guy. That's right. And go Vikings. How about that? Shere Khan saying whoop, 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 whoop. All right. And let's see. Let's go spray paint Shere Khan. That sounds weird. Let's go. Brian in the house. All right. I'm going to skip a lot of this. Milbester's here. Nick's Freak in the house. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Milbester, how are you doing? Have the Knicks played a preseason game yet? I'll actually listen to you a little bit about the Knicks for a second. Stargate saying, actually, Jonathan is way more controlled than Precious. You notice that, Stargate. I think that Mobo is, yeah, a lot more controlled and not as reckless and out of, Precious like to accelerate really quickly at times. And I feel like that could be where he would get in trouble, where he might go out of control dribbling. Of course, he's not going to have to do any of that in New York at this point. So he probably won't get many chances to do that. But Mobo running the point yesterday was very interesting, especially in the starting lineup. Very, very interesting. Fiercely saying Shed taking the charge was impressive. Yeah, he took one, and so did Mitchell. Mitchell had a charge also early in the game, and that's just showing these guys are real ones, like Kyle Lowry, that they in their body, and they're little guys too. So they're taking charges from big players running into them. It's really, really impressive. Really impressive. Shirkan saying Tom Duke subs up. G saying Shed is very confident. We have our new Lowry, Fred. That's right. I like what I saw from everyone. The ball was moving. The 39 assists are outstanding. Seriously, I love this. If Darko's doing his assists for the hospitals again, he's going to raise a lot of money this year. He's going to raise a lot of money this year, especially because in some ways we're not going to have the half year of the old Raptors. We're going to have the full year of the team that he wanted around to do this system. And they are already bought in and they're connected and they're doing things. And they're already, like, in some ways, like Matt and Jack said during the game, these guys don't look like they're showing up to the first preseason game, knocking off the rust, a little out of shape. No, they were on it. They were working really like they were in top shape already and they were connected. It's almost like they were playing a game in November already, like not the first preseason game at the very beginning of October. It's almost like they're playing a game like they were all well-oiled machine, like they're in December almost already. Seriously, that's the continuity of how connected they were yesterday. It's really, really good, really, really good. Stargate saying Davion with the Kyle Lowry S charge in the lane, good stuff. Yeah, these dudes are the right kind of mold for point guard. And I love that Bobby and Masai got the right one this time. Man, it's too bad Flynn couldn't have been this guy. It really is too bad. It is because we wasted time with Malachi Flynn. In fact, I blame him so much for the Raptors' problems in the last few years that he was such a waste of time the whole entire time he was here. He really was. Cowboy saying, I love it when Lex turns his head to the right and talks to Justin Bieber. Poor guy. Yeah, sometimes I'm not watching the camera. That's why. And I don't know what I look like on the camera. I'm kind of just looking over here and talking. But yeah, Justin's not over there. It's the mini fridge. The mini fridge is over there in the studio. Let's see. Let's see. David's laughing. Fiercely saying, laughing at Cowboy. I don't think he's looking at Justin. Justin is lower. I think he looks at random spot, but I need to know what's in that spot. It's a mini fridge. I have like a mini fridge in my studio here where I can keep beverages. So yeah, there's a little mini fridge right where I look right when I'm looking over there. Let's see. Infamous saying, salute freaks. Shed is a Noel 2.0 with the absence of the weakness that crippled him. Imagine when Walter gets back to the mix. Jacoby Walter. Yeah. Oh man. I'm very excited to see what he does. It's too bad he's delayed because this may put him back a little bit. This could hurt him. This very aggressive, competitive Raptors team. In some ways, it's in flux. And the lineup could change every night. And depending on who's really excelling in practice and doing certain things, will get the time. And Jacoby, you want to throw your hat in the ring and start trying to get those minutes because your other rookies around you, yeah, they're good, some of them. So, yeah, this delay with your injury with your shoulder is not good, man. It could put you back a little bit. But I want you to show up and be very talented and prove and get your minutes because I know you will. I know you will. That's right. Good to see Infamous in the chat this morning. Salute to you, sir. Kareem saying, laugh out loud. We need answers, Lex. Who's to the right of you? It's the mini fridge. Like I said, it's empty right now. I put a bunch of like cannabis drinks in it earlier this summer. I had it like stocked full. It was like the Dr. Dre Chronic 40s, the old English 40s fridge from the old video in the 90s. You know that video from like the Chronic when he's like, they should open up the fridge and like the whole thing is just stacked with amber gold, like ends of like the quarts of beer. Yeah, I did that to that fridge this summer. I put a whole ton of cannabis drinks. I went to the cannabis store and I wanted to see how much legally I could buy of the drinks. And I walked out with like 4 or 5 12 packs of cannabis drinks. And I got every flavor that store had. And I was trying to see if I wanted to drink drinks instead of smoking out. And it messed me up because I still smoked out because I wanted to still. I was like, oh, I still kind of want to smoke. And then I got like doubly high because I'm like drinking the cannabis drinks and smoking. And it was too much. So I quit the cannabis drinks things. I'm still just smoking now. But maybe I should go get some more cannabis drinks and put them in my little mini fridge in here, so I can have an after stream cannabis drink or something. I don't know. Paul B's here. Good to see Paul B holding it down for Raptors Freak Nation in the state of Wisconsin, state size and Bucks territory, where Gary Trent Jr. now resides. Let's see what he's saying. Raptors played as a team last night. Love what I saw from Jamal Shed. What a pick. Yeah, he really is the star of the show from yesterday. A lot of wows on both ends of the court. A lot of wows about the heart and the working that he did on the court. And like I said, at halftime when he was interviewed by Kayla Gray, he couldn't catch his breath. And that's a real sign that he's leaving it all on the court. This is preseason. And that man was playing like it was the finals, seriously. And I love that. I love that effort. Fiercely saying Shamshay lacks a bit of confidence shooting and passing, but he's young. He needs more practice. I believe in him as he was cautious, not careless. He also made nice passing attempts, just needs more. I feel like that was the thing that opened my eyes. The biggest was the passing attempts that he had in the game were really good looks. Like, honestly, if Carlson hadn't flubbed that one play, it would have been a beautiful play. And honestly, that's interesting, because in some ways, Shamshay and his build, it's like the assists and passing from him is just extra. Because, shot blocking, rebounding, defense, any kind of low post presence, and 3-point shooting, if those kind of things can happen with him, but also he's a passer. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And that was cool to see that he had a natural talent for passing. Very, very cool. The future is so bright for Prince Shamshay. It really, really is. Really, really is. Cowboy saying, I'm telling you, Justin is like, what the fuck, man, did I do? We won it, bro. We won, bro. Well, you're talking about Justin Champagny. I feel bad for him. In some ways, it is what it is. It is what it is. Fiercely saying, and be careful. Infamous is saying the broadcast made a mistake. He doesn't have that many siblings. He takes care of brothers and sisters and cousins. And they call some of them as siblings. Like, they're his brothers and sisters, but they're really his cousins. And in some ways, that's kind of like with his uncle, too. His uncle is like his dad, but is really his uncle because his dad wasn't around, I don't think. And so in some ways, he calls a guy his dad, but it's actually his uncle. So, yeah, this is true, what Infamous is saying. But in some ways, I mean, what does it matter? If y'all live in the same house and it's a family, they're all your brothers and sisters, even if they're not exactly your brothers and sisters, but your cousins. So Fiercely saying he's been looking at Justin for quite some time. You guys want to see Justin? You guys been talking about Justin. I guess since we saw Champagny, we might as well see Justin Bieber. Wake up, Justin. They're asking for you. What are you doing down there? All right, wake up, man. Come on. All right, let's see what he's saying today. Justin was not saying anything. We know that. There's Justin. And are you happy about the Canada series? Since you are a Canada ambassador for this channel and our CRTC, making sure I have Canadian content on the Raptors Freak channel. You know, I always have Canadian content because I'm talking about Canadian basketball and Raptors all the time. So, Justin, are you happy with how Montreal went today? Yeah, you are? You're very happy with how it went this whole weekend? Yeah. Did you like stay out all night building dams? Is this why you're so tired right now? You seem like you're very low energy. You're out building dams. Yeah. All right. Listen, I got to let this guy go back to sleep. But yeah, I will come up for y'all. I hope y'all are happy now. And yeah, you're my son. Just like Justin Champagny's son, some people, you're my son. You're my Beaver son, Justin Beaver. And I'm proud of you for all the dams you built. You're a very prolific dam builder. Damn is what I say when I see how many dams you build every day. So damn. All right, get some sleep so you can make some more dams. This is my son, Justin Beaver. And we're proud of him. And he's proud of Canada. He's proud of Canada's series in Montreal. All right, Justin, go to bed. Go to bed. You're my son. All right, let's have a hug. All right, yeah. Okay, that's enough. All right, bye. All right, go. All right, go. All right, he's out of here. All right, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, you guys don't want to see Justin Bieber. You got Justin Bieber. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Side eye, alley-oop. All right, ta-da, no Monday. All right. I'm going to skip all that. That's not useful. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I pictured Lex blocking his ears doing la 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 when VC was talking. He's not saying the words we need to hear, so I honestly wasn't paying attention, although I heard him say he mentored RJ. Yeah, he talked to them before the game. In fact, there's pictures of him with Vince with Scotty and RJ, a big hug of Vince hugging Scotty, and they're saying goats and goat and goat, and passing it across generations. I mean, I get all that, and it's important to Raptors' legacy. I hope that Scotty understands the whole story about Vince and how he did us wrong. I hope he's like DeMar and he's aware of this, and that he takes this very seriously, like DeRozan did. DeRozan said, I am Mr. Toronto because of Vince Carter. We know this. He says it in his book, Above the Noise, that he saw how Vince Carter hurt the Raptors fans. He saw how Chris Bosh hurt the Raptors fans. And he said, I would never do that to our fan nation. And instead, Masai hurt him. Well, I want Scotty to be more like DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam and be a real one the whole time they're here. And hopefully never leave. And don't be like Vince, is what I'm going to say right now. Scotty, understand the legacy of Vince is tarnished because of the way he left. And you don't ever want that. In some ways, Vince went through a lot of hell with our fan nation for years and years because of the way he left. And it would happen to you also if you did anything similar to what Vince Carter did. So in some ways, Vince Carter is a horrible role model for you, Scotty. And you do not ever want to be like him. Let's just trust me on that way. On that way. Sure, you want to get all-stars. Sure, you want to be a face of the league, but you don't. And you want to have an Air Barnes effect on the country of Canada, but you don't want to exit like he did. If you do that, you will get the same treatment as him. I'll tell you that right now, Scott. I will do the same thing to you that I did to Vince. If you do anything like what he did, seriously. Yeah. And let's see. Infamous saying Vince needs to work on his public speaking skills. He needs to organize his thoughts before speaking. The man seems to be drunk and disoriented. I agree with this. That's why I think it's so crazy that he's on ESPN calling games so much, because he is all over the place. He really doesn't stay controlled, and he kind of jumps from one thing to the other before he finishes his thoughts on one thing. I totally get what you're saying, Infamous. In some ways, maybe I do that from time to time here, but I'm trying not to. I try and finish everything before I move on. But yeah, I see the same thing. In some ways, Vince, you could take more public speaking classes or something like that. I don't understand how ESPN pays you to be on the air when you're such a rattling, prattling, kind of rambling old man in some ways. And I'd say Scotty Barnes has gotten better with his public speaking with the media than even Vince Carter is after 22 years in the league and being a commentator for ESPN ABC. It's crazy. I don't understand it. It's not that he's drunk. It's just that he has a hard time staying. I think he has ADHD. I think it's what it is. I think that he just has attention deficit disorder, and that's what it is. Fiercely saying, hold up, Brogdon is in Washington? Oh my, that's rough. Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon. He had higher aspirations a couple years ago, and he chose the Celtics over the Raptors. And then he got sold out. He missed out on a Celtics championship last year, spent a year in Portland, and now he's on the Wizards. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens right there. Cowboys saying Lexathon in effect. Well, it's over 2 hours, so I'm already at my regular time, but we got time to go still. Seymour saying, like I said, Vince sees himself in RJ. I don't like it one bit, not at all. Stay far away from Vince, RJ. I agree with this. I don't think that RJ is anything like Vince Carter. I think that in some ways, Vince Carter had a lot of natural talent and athleticism that was unforeseen in any NBA player. And in some ways, he squandered it. In some ways, much like DeMar DeRozan, Vince Carter should have gotten better and better as his career went on. Sure, some injuries may have limited it. Sure, some players that are athletically gifted, they get worse because their athletic gifts go away because of jumping too much or injuries, and they can't jump as much. And maybe part of their game was based on being so good because they could jump so much. Meanwhile, you got DeMar DeRozan. Year in, year out, skill training, he's training himself to be a better player, and every single year he comes back better. In some ways, like I said, DeMar DeRozan's career kind of went like this and went like with skill. And Vince's was like very much at the top, really high at where he was. His best years were in Raptors, obviously. And then he had pretty good years in New Jersey also. But he really went downhill for most of the second half of his career. And that's just what I'm saying. In some ways, RJ Barrett, you think he's going to be like Vince or DeMar? You think he's going to fight and build skill on top of his game and work and do the hard work to get there? Yeah, he's going to. In some ways, Vince was just happy to be invited to the club called the NBA, make an NBA paycheck, and be a part of the group. In some ways, after that, it wasn't like he was like trying to build his skill on top of his athletic ability and crazy talent. No, he just coasted on his talent for a lot of his career. He didn't work as hard as he could have, like DeMar, and hopefully RJ will. RJ already is like that. He's more like DeMar than Vince. So I would say that. I would say that about that whole thing right there. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying from Boston to Portland, then Washington. Is San Antonio next for Brogdon? Well, San Antonio is a step up because they're on their way up. The San Antonio Spurs are going to make the playoffs this year with Chris Paul on their team. And Wemby is going to be way better this year. Watch. So yeah, don't put San Antonio as lower than Washington. No, 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 no. Washington's one of the last stops, the worst you can get to. Yeah, Kareem saying Vince left to get his diploma on Game 7, only to still sound uneducated. He's been saying the same shit for the past 3 weeks. Kelly was in my camp. Blah blah blah. I know he's got these certain talking points that he's harping on. In some ways, like I said, there's probably media people with the Raptors that are trying to work with him to get him more likable with the fans that are like us that don't really like him. There's a couple things happening. You're right. You're right. In some ways, that's another thing that I hate him for is the fact that he didn't take a Game 7 in the playoffs, the furthest the Raptors had ever been in their history, seriously enough, and he went and jet set it around on Larry Tannenbaum's jet to go down there. Well, Larry Tannenbaum has still not forgiven Vince Carter, like me, and he gave him the jet to fly to his diploma and stuff like that. Yeah, Larry was not allowing Vince to get his jersey retired, and it wasn't until Ed Rogers bought the Bell shares in the recent weeks that Vince got his jersey retired. Larry was not going to let this happen. He was saying Kyle Lowry is going to be the first jersey retired by the Raptors, and Vince can be after that. Well, Ed Rogers pulled his muscle as soon as he got vested interest in the majority of MLSC. And that's why this is happening now. Larry Tannenbaum still hasn't forgiven him. In fact, he was still said that he doesn't totally agree with anything how Vince left, and he holds a grudge against him just like I do. So how am I wrong if the primary, most important owner of the Raptors in their history, Larry Tannenbaum, the man who drove us to that championship as the owner, is still kind of not cool with this, just like I am? Seriously. So you tell me I'm messed up for not being happy about Vince getting his jersey retired. One of the owners is just like me right now. I'm telling you. Yeah. Stargate saying Garrett Temple is necessary for this team, whether some of you like it or not. How is having a top union guy on your team a bad thing? Some of these young fans are just cluelessly ignorant. Yeah, in some ways it's ageism. In some ways it's just like young people are like, they really don't like old people in different places in some ways. Maybe someone don't like me because of that. I don't care. I'm young at heart and I act like a fool. It's fine. But yeah, Garrett Temple's fantastic. And the fact that Scotty really, really respects him and he keeps name dropping him as a leader he takes influence from, that's fantastic. Because he wasn't doing that in some ways. Although Scotty did say in an interview this weekend that the first main leader he had as a player in the NBA was Fred VanVleet, and that he learned a lot from Fred. And all that Pensair, Fred versus Scotty bullshit from the early time of Scotty being with Fred was absolute horse crap. That Scotty actually really did appreciate Freddie's tough, hard-nosed leadership in his rookie year and the years that he got to play with him. So, yeah, all the bullshit about Scotty not liking Fred has been proven untrue over and over again because he's still name-dropping him. You think Scotty's going to bring up Fred VanVleet now if he doesn't have to? No. So he's just telling the truth. Somebody says, who are the leaders that influenced you to be a leader for this team? Well, Fred VanVleet and Garrett Temple is what he's saying. So, yeah, people don't understand that. Well, they're never going to understand that. That's right. Kareem saying the Washington Generals, laugh out loud, Globetrotters always made them look stupid. That's what I'm saying. The Washington Generals are going on in Washington this year. Sorry, Tony Kornheiser. Your team sucks. You're going to be crying all year, Tony. Yeah, Fiercely saying it was rumored the Washington Wizards and Capitals were relocating to Virginia, but it fell through and everything stays status quo. Yeah, I've heard about that. There were also rumors that the Sixers were going to be moving to New Jersey this summer also. Yeah, sometimes cities get their butts in gear if the owners start threatening to move the teams and they start making things happen for new arenas and new things that they need. That's right. Stargate saying Alex Sarr is going to be in San Antonio with Victor within 2 years. Remember, I said it first. I think it's more likely that Koulibaly will be there with Wembanyama than Sarr. Sarr being a second pick means he's very high level and he's going to be very much sought after, and they're going to love him there. So it's more likely they'll part with Koulibaly and let Bilal reunite with his Metropolitans teammate, Victor Wembanyama, than Alexander Sarr. Sarr's too high level and too high up there, and he's harder to trade than Koulibaly. Let's just put it that way. So can we just substitute that name in there for that? I agree with what you're saying, but I think it's the wrong player. It's the wrong Frenchman. Yeah, Fiercely saying I'm all in for Temple to be with. Yeah, like he said, he's a union rep, and he knows all the players. He knows all the coaches. He's played in this league for so damn long. He's politicking for us. In some ways, if Darko, being a newer coach in the league, doesn't have as much clout or respect around the league, Garrett Temple shores up some of it. just because of his time spent in the league and his relationships with referees, with other teams, coaches, and players. So this is all part of it right there. That's right. Smooth saying the Jonas fit with Washington is questionable. Come December 15th, he'll be a Laker. That's my prediction. Yeah, they're already saying it. It's not even hidden in some ways. It's not even hidden that it's very likely that, and that's the team he'll probably be on. Yeah, who knows? It may not be them. There may be a bidding war. And the Lakers never underestimate Rob Pelinka and the Lakers making poor decisions and dropping the ball on landing Valanciunas around that time. It could be some other team swoops in and gets Valanciunas that needs him also. And the Lakers are left holding the bag once again, like they have been recently. That's right. There's Garrett Temple in the chat. I love it. Milbester saying, morning, Lex. How's everyone's week? I was just doing my blood work after 4 months, was waiting for my liver to heal and regenerate after my June checkup. That went good. Busy with MLB playoffs. How are the Raptors? Well, they won in a rout last night over the Wizards. Doesn't say a whole lot, but it was fun. It was a great game in Montreal. Milbester, I wish you the best of health with your health. Man, I don't like hearing this. I hope all your blood tests come really well and you stay healthy and good things happen for you, Knicks freak. See, we're not that much of haters of other fan nation stuff. If we're human beings and we care about each other. And Milbester is a friend to the Raptor Freak channel, and we wish him always the best with his health. For sure, for sure. It was saying great tribute video by Masai talking about Mutombo who cut the onions. Yeah, fantastic videos around the game last night. A lot of that stuff has been released online already, so they were not totally new to us. Like the pop-up video was fantastic, showing the history of the Raptors in Montreal. And I love seeing the old clips, like seeing young DeMar, seeing Jonas playing against the Wizards in Montreal, him against Gortat. And yeah, just them going over the whole series of all the games the Raptors have played in Montreal, being undefeated there. That's a fantastic clip. And yeah, Raptors Admin has been fantastic with producing great clips recently. And of course, put them online so a lot of us see them. But if the people did not see them online, get them on national TV for the game. And the Mutombo tribute clip is amazing. I think that's funny when they did the laugh part, where like Masai does the thing and then he has Mutombo do the really heavy part. It's like 2001 Space Odyssey, the theme that Ric Flair comes out to. Dun, dun, dun. And then Mutombo goes, dun, dun. You can tell Mutombo has always never taken himself that seriously. And he's just such a fun guy. And man, we really did lose a great this recently with Mutombo's passing around the NBA. Really, really sad. But that tribute is so beautiful. And you really do get unfiltered Masai Ujiri emotion in that. And when he's just saying, oh, man, it's so sad. But yeah, you feel it. You feel it. It really, really good stuff by the Raptors producers, putting together packages and clips recently. Top notch, as usual. Y'all have always been very good. Milbester saying, I won't be too focused on NBA season with many international baseball events coming up. MLB playoffs, just been upset after DiVincenzo got traded. We got Cat for Randall, and they added Najee to center. Yeah, I think that's a good trade for you guys. In some ways, you will miss DiVincenzo. You probably will miss Randall on the down low too. But Cat's a big, big fit for your center problem that I've been harping on all summer. Now, will he help you guys with the rebounding? Probably, but we'll see. In some ways, he's so used to playing outside. I don't know, man. In some ways, you guys got to understand, your best player last year was Hartenstein, and he was the one who was controlling the boards for y'all. And that secret special recipe that the Knicks had for success last year when OG showed up, it was nice, but y'all screwed it up already. Y'all got greedy and went and got Mikal Bridges, and now you brought in Cat. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to be bad because they are a championship contender, but it's going to be very interesting to see. Y'all aren't going to be the same as you were last year. And some of that success and the fun that y'all had at the end of the season last year, it may not be exactly the same. And y'all may have more trouble winning than you did when you had that team that you had last year. I'm just going to say that right now. It's like in some ways, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, New York. And in some ways, y'all kind of went too crazy with your Villanova pairing up with bringing Bridges over the bridge to come to the Knicks from the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, I thought that was the move where you fucked up. It was right there. You got too greedy getting your Villanova players. That's right. Milbester saying Raptors are going to be good this season and have a chance to make the in-season tournament, but I'm upset. You mean the play-in. I'm upset with DiVincenzo getting traded. Achua looked great, Lex, versus the Hornets. We barely won. Charlotte missed 3 free throws. Yeah, I heard that you guys just barely won because the Hornets missed free throws. That's pathetic. Well, we really kicked the Wizards' ass. So, yeah, y'all need to do better against a low-lying team like the Hornets. That's no good. That's no good, Milbester. That's right. Look out. Thank you for OG. Thank you, OG, for RJ and Emmanuel. There you go. Milbester is taking over a little bit. Thanks, Kareem. Well, I'm in New York, and the Mets are playing really well with postseason magic. Hopefully, we get Subway World Series. Yankees barely beat the Royals Saturday, game 2 tonight. All right, there's a baseball update. All right, I'll keep moving. Smooth saying, Washington seems like they're in no man's land. Wow, they were so unprepared last night. Yeah, and it showed that our work this summer and building connection with our guys, it really is paying off. And we're going to need this advantage when we hit the ground running against the Cavs on the opener for the season, because it's just going to be a tough season right away. And the fact that the Raptors are ahead like this is a good sign, because we're going to need this to compete with the high-level teams we're going to play at the beginning of the year. That's right. That's right. Smooth saying Kyle Kuzma's girlfriend is from Canada. Yeah, I don't care. That's no reason to put him on the Raptors. That is not a good reason to put him on the Raptors. That's right. Roger that. Okay. Shaq Lindsay saying, Shaq Lindsay back in the chat. Good to see Shaq Lindsay. Long time Raptor freak. Dick looked good. No Diddy. But why you guys keep saying that? But I don't see him in the starting lineup. I would rather see Chris in the starting lineup. That's an interesting look, Shaq Lindsay. You know, I honestly thought that Chris Boucher would start last night. I would have maybe started him over Mobo, but you know why? It was actually really classy. Darko didn't start him. He brought him in first off the bench. And in some ways, instead of him getting an ovation from the starting lineup, he gets his own special coming into the game as the sixth man, first thing in. And that's an even louder ovation for him at the beginning, when he comes in as the first sub. So I understand why Darko did it that way. And it worked out pretty good. In some ways, Chris is not a starter, and he should not be starting. I don't agree with you, Shaq Lindsay. But last night he could have started because of the situation, but he didn't. But I think it was the right move because Coach Rajakovic gave Chris Boucher an excellent chance to get a real good ovation as the first person coming in off the bench. And that was fantastic. You know, Chris has no problem with what Darko's doing. In fact, he, in his post-game interview, is saying he really likes Darko a lot, that they're at a place in their relationship that's very, very much worked out. And in some ways, like Darko said after the game, he's treating Chris Boucher like the rookies. He's saying, I'm treating them all the same and they can get what they want. So in some ways, that's fair. That's fair to Chris. In some ways, it's like, oh, you're going to just hand him to things because he's the longest serving Raptor? No. In some ways, this is a new regime. This is a new system. Everything's new. And Chris, in some ways, needs to fight for his part of what he's going to do for the Raptors in the rotation. And I like everything that I'm hearing from them, whether it's Darko saying he's treating them like the rookies, whether it's Chris saying, I like what Darko's doing to me because he's going to make me better. And I'm bought in. And I may have been a little bit temper tantrum, little sullen last season at the end of the bench, a little confusing. A lot of Boucher heads were mad about what was going on with Chris. But listen, Chris is okay with this. If Darko's given him the instructions on how to get his place carved out in the rotation, and Chris is up for the challenge. So let's see how this journey goes this season. Don't expect them to start, though. And yeah, he shouldn't start over Brady. I will disagree with you respectfully, Shaq Lindsay. I'll disagree with you on that. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Race Mode saying, stay strong, Lex, get well. I appreciate that, Race Mode. I really, really do. It has been a very difficult weekend for my health. And it's just too bad that it kind of had to do with when they were here visiting me, which is too bad. That's right. Shed is our future Fred. I agree with this. And I think you're exactly right, Shaq Lindsay. He's going to be amazing. He's going to be so amazing. Yeah, Mr. Duke getting the classic card. I love it. So, so good. Let's see if David gave an adjudication on it. If he didn't, I'll go ahead and give Tommy the points in just a sec. Shaq saying you got to start intermittent fasting will help with your digestive. That's exactly what I'm doing, Shaq Lindsay. In some ways, this is part of the problem. I was cramming too much food down my throat in the last few days. And I really do this. I do intermittent fasting, and it does really help. It cleans out your digestive system. It gets all the toxins out. And in some ways, that's what I did. After I got sick, I had a bunch of miso soup, and I had a very, very large dinner of sushi on Sunday, and it healed me. The miso soup is a miracle cure. I'm telling you, if you guys have digestive issues, if you're having any kind of inflammation, miso soup will cause it to go down. Miso is a natural healer. and it's so, so good. And Shaq Lindsay, I'll take your advice, and I will continue to do it because I do believe in intermittent fasting, just like you're suggesting. Randolph's here. Morning blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. One of life's greatest gifts is knowing you can impact the world for the better. There you go, Randolph Phillips. I love the words of wisdom from Randolph. Blessings to you and the Phillips family. And I appreciate it, man. Seriously. Let me see if Leo's got some words of wisdom now. Here we go. He's saying, hoping for the best, prepared for the worst, and unsurprised by anything in between. There you go, Leo Routens. There you go. And this is really a great way to take care of our season this year. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and hope for anything in between. Boom goes the dynamite. Perfect words for starting our season and how Raptors fans should look at the outlook for what the Raptors can do this season. That's right. That's exactly right. Good to see Randolph once again. Alley-oop to Randolph. We can do that, Cowboy. We can definitely do that for our good friend, Mr. Phillips, longtime Raptor freak who's been coming in here and giving us words of wisdom for years now. 57 dunks for Randolph. I love it. Let's see. Andrew's here. Good to see Andrew, Rookie of the Year. Current Rookie of the Year is here. And Shirkan, our Rookie of the Year last year, is here too. Good morning, everyone. Great game last night. Shed looked like a defensive monster. He's just everywhere. He's making winning plays. He's putting that effort in. He's a shit disturber. He's getting his hand in there. He's deflecting. He's flying up in the air. That one play where he's going out of bounds and he fake passed it around the guy and it led to really good things for the Raptors. Yeah, this is a very intelligent player that plays with full out and he plays with a lot of heart. And I love it. I love it so much. I think that Raptors fans are going to fall in love with Shed very, very quickly. That's right. Milbester's saying, Shaq, digestion issues, it's better to take digestive enzymes and prebiotic. Yeah, I do that too. I take something called a line, and I'm very, very conscious about everything I'm doing with my digestive system. That's right. You want alley-oop from Morgan? All right, we could do that. We can give an alley-oop to Morgan. I don't even know if she's on here. She should be on here, though, but I don't know if she is. Let me find her. All right. She needs to join the league. David, if she has not joined the league by the end of today, I'm going to open up the spot. Actually, you know what, guys? There is an open spot in our Yahoo Fantasy League. If somebody wants to join it right now, there's an open spot right now. You can jump in and take it right now. And if you played last year and you have not re-upped, well, you better get in there. You're going to lose your team, is what I'm going to say right now. Shaq Lindsay saying, people forget Vince forced a trade, which set our franchise back. I love Vince, but the narrative that no one wants to play for Canadian teams started with Vince. It was there before, but he definitely reinforced it, and he perpetuated it even more in his broadcasting career since. I mean, he has not been kind to us in all kinds of ways, whether it's the exit, whether it's quitting on us, whether it's coming back as a net and killing us and eliminating us from the playoffs, whether it's just really relishing getting the booze and playing big games against us for the rest of his career. He in some ways, this is a new respect he's finding right now for our franchise. And in some ways, it's in really his own self-interest is honestly what it is. And that's part of why I have a problem with what's going on right now. That's right. Cool Cat saying, eat very small portions every 2 to 3 hours and nothing after 7 or 8 p.m. Ooh, that's a dynamite. There you go, Cool Cat. I love that y'all are being so parental and trying to look out for me. It's so nice. It's so nice. I appreciate that. Andrew's saying crazy that RJ scored 17 points in 14 minutes. Well, it says a lot about RJ's drive and ability and also a lot about how bad the Wizards defense is. I'll say that too. Yeah, Cool Cat saying Washington trying the OKC route, amass draft players for a few years. They sure start off the Cooper Flag draft ranking. That's right. Listen, they're trying to play capture the flag. Honestly, I don't think the Wizards are a serious team at this point. They have not been a serious team for so long. In some ways, where do they even start to build culture? They can't. In some ways, we have culture we can look to in recent history that will get us out of the rebuilding mud easier. They have nothing to start from. They have nobody good in the front office. They don't have a top coach. They don't have any good superstars. They're fucked. They are fucked. And in some ways, our team has so many more good things about it that we can get out of a rebuilding lower tier team in the NBA place much faster than them. I mean, in some ways, they have no direction to point to from recent to even figure it out. They were even saying it on the broadcast. The last time the Wizards won 50 games in a season was the championship year they had in 1979, guys. So it's like the Wizards have been very good at losing pretty much the whole entire time I've watched the NBA, my whole entire life. So where are they going to get to? Like, we have a culture. We have something built by DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. They don't have nothing like this since Wes Unseld. Seriously, y'all. That is crazy. That is crazy. You hope that Cooper Flag goes out west. I don't care where he goes. In some ways, we're not in the capture the flag sweepstakes. So any Raptors fans that are saying we need to be a tank engine like Thomas just to try and get Cooper Flag, hold your tongue. Because we ain't doing that shit. We got Grady Dick. We don't need Cooper Flag. We seriously don't. Let's see. Fiercely said, I predict similar to David, but 42-40. I like that. 42-40 is a winning record. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. Stargate saying, rumor has it that Kuzma was exiled to DC because he rejected advances from a certain team owner, allegedly. Which team owner are you talking about? That's a crazy talk. Is that something Kuzma's saying himself? That sounds so fucking crazy, Stargate. I'm not going to deny it. I don't know if it's true. This sounds crazy. Shaq Lindsay saying RJ and Dick probably don't fit together. Chris better defender and rebounder. I don't agree with that. I think that they look fine starting together. In fact, they had both had room and time. They took turns and they worked off each other. In fact, in some ways, maybe RJ doesn't get all the way to 17 points in 14 minutes if Dick isn't being the counterbalance of scoring the counterpoints on the other times of the court. I think they fit really well, and they were working off each other. In fact, I can tell that Grady really respects and looks up to RJ Barrett, and that partnership's really good. So once again, I'll disagree on this, Shaq Lindsay. Grady Dick's a starter. And I may have had questions about whether he should be the starter for this year, but I put a lot of those to rest last night, how quickly he was getting going and making his open shots and getting scoring opportunities. And not only that, the man looks stronger. He's going to be way better on defensive end this year. He's going to be way, way better. So I can't agree with this. Chris Boucher starting over Grady Dick does not make any sense whatsoever. Does not. Andrew saying crazy how Shed in his post-game interview kept giving flowers to Davion Mitchell despite them competing for the same minutes. That's because that's part of the love that's going on this team right now. And I love it. It's amazing. It's so, so good. And in some ways, look, they're family. They want to see each other get better. That's the way a team should be. That's the way a team should be. Jamal Shed understands. He needs guys to do well for that team to do well all around, and they can win. That's how he did it in Houston. So this is the right way to be on a team. If you have too much competition on the team where they hate each other and they really don't like each other and they really see that person's got my plate of food they're eating, I want to eat it. No, that's not good. And that, the jubilance of Emmanuel Quickly and street clothes on the bench for those point guards also is showing the leadership of that, and that they're a unit and they're not looking at each other as adversaries, that they're very much trying to learn from each other. And it's a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic thing. All right. I want to see what you deleted, Monique. Let's see. She's saying, Shaq Lindsay saying, I hate seeing OG roll on the Knicks. He didn't like his role as a defender spot-up shooter on the Raptors, but please tell me what his role is on the Knicks. This is a good point. And Monique, you shouldn't have, if you did that by accident, I understand. What I'll say is this, Shaq Lindsay, you're exactly right on this one. That OG, apparently, Jake Fisher said that he was whining and crying. He wanted a bigger role on the Raptors. Well, he's got even less of a role on the Knicks offensively. Now they got Karl Anthony Towns. And in some ways, OG, you're like way more just a specialist on that team. The way things were starting to develop here in Toronto, you were going to become more of a player like Siakam and get more scoring and get more opportunities. Well, that's all down the tubes now. That's Jalen Brunson's team. That's Mikal Bridges may get more shots than you this year. Seriously. So, yeah, you're exactly right about this, Shaq Lindsay. OG in some ways, well, you're in a bigger market. You got a huge contract. Just be happy. But you're not going to get everything you supposedly wanted. I still don't believe Jake Fisher's rumor in some ways. I think that OG is perfectly fine being a defensive specialist, role player that he was on the Raptors. And that the whole thing about him wanting a more expanded offensive role was just bullshit subterfuge to try and get him shucked out of Toronto. And it wasn't really ever a real thing. That OG's not actually like this, demanding. And in some ways, he's the kind of guy who shows up for a team and says, yeah, what do you want me to do, coach? I'll do it. In some ways, it doesn't make total sense. So even if it's true, well, he's not getting what he wants. But I still don't totally believe Jake Fisher's old rumors about OG wanting a bigger offensive role from like 2 or 3 years ago. I really don't. Yeah, Fiercely saying no C word, no T word, and no Diddy. That's right. None of those. No. I might have to put Diddy on the banned words list. Because we ain't doing a Puff Daddy, talk about Puff Daddy every single day jokes, guys. I'm sorry. We're not doing that. Shaq saying, I guess 43 million more is a promotion. That's it exactly right there. That's probably the thing that matters the most right there, Shaq Lindsay. It's good to see you back. Andrew saying, thankfully, we aren't paying that. That's right. Malachi's not an NBA player. Yep. I'll agree with that.
Monique is saying, when the news first came out about Jonas Valanciunas going to the Wizards, I hated it. I actually didn't mind it in some ways. I was like, Jonas is the kind of player wherever he plays is fine. But yeah, I felt bad for him, but we know why he's there. He's going to get out of there soon. Watch. Smooth saying the reason he isn't apologizing is he doesn't want to piss off the Nets. Why would he piss the Nets off if he apologized? Seriously. All he needs to do is say that I should have tried harder when I left the Raptors. That's all. In some ways, I could have gotten traded and left the Raptors without doing what I did because he seriously tanked his trade value. And that's really damaging to us. Like, he really did try to destroy us in some ways by tanking his trade value so that we couldn't trade him properly and get fair value for him. That was a huge detriment to us. And sure, Rob Babcock was an idiot, but yeah, it was still a huge detriment. Stargate saying, I like the Shedhead nickname. Remember what the Grateful Dead fans were called. I think it's fine. The Deadheads, the Shedheads. I think it's too close to Shitheads is what the problem is. I think it's too close. Smooth saying, Dr. J played for the Nets, his favorite player ever. By saying sorry to Toronto means he never really wanted to be a Net. The perception would be there at least. I don't think that's true. Like, what? I don't think Nets Nation's going to be upset with him for anything. They don't have any beef with him. Seriously, he didn't do anything wrong to the Nets. What did he do? He came and played for them. He helped them in the playoffs. He did good stuff for them overall. So I don't see this. I don't see them being kind of upset with Vince, even if he apologized for like not playing hard for us. It's our own business. It's nothing to do with the New Jersey Nets. It has nothing to do with them. So I don't understand this, Smooth. Exactly. Most saying W stream, W vibes, keep at it always. Let's go Raptors for life. Good times are here. And she's got my cutoff and I'm at 2.5 hours. Let me just make sure I get on my tabs real quick because there is stuff I still want to do. There's the Instagram stories. We got Kelly Olynyk showing some of the highlights of the game from last night. There's the shot from the corner of three-pointer shot by Oshai, the assist by Kelly. The Utah connection still there. There he is shooting around before the game. And coming in with his fit, with his snapback hat, his signature snapback. Let's see. Shamshay has got the play where Carton's putting the ball up and he gets that putback. And he's thanking a coach that he had from before that is showing his putback dunk. So Shamshay's really proud. And Emmanuel posting something with a bunch of the Raptors tagged on it, and Ulrich reposting it. Teresa Resch was in the house at the Montreal Canada series last night, and she's in a picture with Natalie Achona. Of course, Natalie is an assistant coach for Michigan now. And Teresa is there representing the new Toronto WNBA team at our Raptors preseason game last night. Jamal Shed with family celebrating something. Happy birthday. It looks like it might be his mom's birthday yesterday. Fantastic. And he's reposted Emmanuel Quickly's celebration of his teammates doing so good. Grady Dick's on a weird podcast called Lemmy Balls or something. I don't know what the hell this is, but they got him wearing his old sequin red suit that he wore on draft day. And some other guys wearing it too. And there's some weird guy with a mullet. I don't know. I may have to watch this. I haven't watched the clip yet. I know that Monique posted it in our Facebook chat. So I'll have to watch this afternoon to see if this is entertaining or not. It looks very Zach Galifianakis between two ferns. So we'll have to see if this is a funny clip or not with Grady on that show. There's Grady putting on blast the pass he threw up, the very nice alley-oop to Jonathan Mobo for his 2 points in the game. The touch by Grady on that pass was really, really good. And it was one of those moments where I was like, wow, Grady had a really good passing touch to Mobo on that alley-oop in transition. There's Emmanuel Quickly celebrating the Baltimore Ravens win yesterday. Scotty Barnes also celebrating it on his Instagram. And Emmanuel high-fiving everybody. He had a good fit for his clothes last night, wearing the Converse high tops with the all black. Yeah, Emmanuel's a good leader, yelling on there. There's Gary Trent Jr. playing against the Detroit Pistons in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. Very interesting to see him hooping for the Bucks now. Hopefully Gary has a good season. Lloyd is celebrating the Giants beating the Seahawks yesterday on his Instagram, and also Mobo getting that dunk in transition, the alley-oop from Grady Dick. He's showing friendship with his friend J-Mo. Really cool. RJ Barrett has a picture of him talking to Vince Carter before the game. I'm sure RJ is not going to take any bad advice from Vince Carter. Trust me. RJ understands. He's a real one for us. It's not like Vince is going to get RJ to turncoat on his own country, right? You think that Vince Carter could tell RJ, you should go play for the Lakers. You'll do so much better in your life or something like that. RJ was like, what the fuck do you think you're doing, Vince? You're talking to me. I'm from Canada. I love this country. I want to play for the Raptors. So you don't even come here and try and tell me I should go play for another team. Don't you try and do that. I'm sure Vince wouldn't be stupid enough to try and encourage RJ Barrett to leave the Raptors. No, I don't think he'd be stupid enough to do that. And Scotty's saying, how about them Ravens, Flock Nation? 41-38 over the Bengals. Good job, Ravens. Lamar Jackson taking care of things and making Scotty happy. Lamar makes a miraculous play. Very beautiful. There's Scotty signing the jerseys for the Montreal fans. He went around the whole arena is what he's saying in Montreal, signing everything for everybody. Good job, Scotty, being there for the fans. He's showing the clip of Carton coming in transition, coming down the court, and he's looking. He got Chris in transition with that nice dunk down the lane. Beautiful. And then he's got the Mobo clip. So proud of his best friend, Jonathan, getting that highlight alley-oop from Grady Dick. Nice touch pass by him. And oh, look, looks like somebody's already up in the morning setting the standard. Scotty Barnes, an hour ago, posting him running around OVO Center, getting in his practice already this morning. Yeah, I love to see that leader. He's doing it like Siakam would. He's showing the youngsters on the Raptors how you got to do it to be a good pro. And Scotty's being that example, showing it at OVO right first thing in the morning, put in that work this morning right away. There you go. There's Slim Duck's Instagram story showing the atmosphere in Montreal. A great crowd last night. Darko was saying that the Bell Center is a large arena for basketball. It's like 21,000. And they had jammed it full of great, great fans. Him and Keyshawn George doing the welcome to the fans before the game. Chris Boucher loves Montreal. Montreal loves Chris Boucher. And it's so awesome to see the fans love and him being in the middle of it all. Chris, you really were the host of the weekend, and you did a fantastic job. Such great times in the game and in the other events around the weekend also. Good stuff. DJ Carton showing his clip of him getting the pass to Chris Boucher in transition, also posting it. And there's Jay Nathan going to the game with his fit, and also his clip of him getting that's the most popular highlight is the Grady alley-oop to J-Mo in transition. There's Zach Edey and the Instagram stories in his Grizzlies jersey at open practice. Matt Devlin hyping up the game day in Montreal on his Instagram, all kinds of stuff. And there he is with Kayla Gray, the announce crew. Really cool. And there he is with Vince Carter getting some love from the Montreal crowd. The Montreal crowd was very, very nice to Vince last night. I did not hear very many boos towards Vince from that crowd. So I guess maybe like Jack said at that moment, he said, there's a very overwhelming like cheers for him. And they're very much making like, that's how you do it is what Jack said. Yeah. Are you trying to train us in Toronto? You know, Montreal, maybe they don't feel it like we do here, but maybe they do. I don't know. Are we going to boo on November the 2nd, Raptors fans? I think some of us should. I think that it would only be right. Some people say, no, it wouldn't be right. Don't do it. I say, yeah, I think it would only be right if we show all sides of Vince Carter's history here. So, yeah. All right. And there's people shooting around on Raptors official. We see Eric Curry setting some picks for them. There's the starting lineup and the great highlights. There was a check given to the club, Black Boys Code, $275,000 given to that charity. Good stuff. Yeah, just checking all the Instagram stories. I think that's it. Let me see. There's Jamison Battle. He's celebrating the Vikings win. So he's with Brian on the win for the Minnesota Vikings. That's pretty much it. That's it for the Instagram stories today. There you go. Checking in on what's happening with the Raptors on their Instagram. Andrew saying, did you hear the quote by Shed when he was asked about Carrington being drafted higher than him? He said, Carrington is a skilled player, but I had to give him a taste of NBA defense. I love that. You know, listen, Bub Carrington is going to be a good player, but in some ways he got outplayed by Shed last night, and Shed owed him something. And that's why he had to give him some receipts last night. That's right. That was awesome. Yeah. 45th pick looked better than 14. Yeah, I mean, that's not totally off. Fiercely saying, Lex missed my comment. I said Jakob seems to be moving quicker, dribbles a bit more, uses his footwork, and impactful as usual on the rim. So glad we have him. I could say that. I mean, Jakob looked fine. I mean, he does look lighter, so he may be moving a little bit quicker. I don't think his muscles is built up onto him, and that may be by design. As long as he's still strong, and he'll be fine. But yeah, I'm sorry I missed your comment. There's a lot of comments today, and I'm just trying to make it through the stream, and hopefully it'll be done in the next 20 minutes because I don't want to go over 3 hours. Mischief saying Raptors beat Wizards like a top 4 team. Yeah, they beat them bad, and they went about their business right, and there weren't a lot of mistakes. They played a very, very good game all around, and that's the kind of game they need to play, and hopefully they can do it against higher level competition because that'll be the test more and more. Yeah. Fiercely saying Lex mentioning Jalen McDaniels. I had completely forgotten about him. Sad. Yeah, he's on Sacramento with DeMar now. That's right. Andrew's saying we really went from McDaniels and Flynn to Mitchell, Shed, Mobo, Shamshay. Masai's so great. I know. Masai Ujiri is a real one. He does it. That's right. Mo's saying, hey, Lex, please unblock Shaq Lindsay. I hit it by accident. It's all good. He's not blocked from the channel. You just hit delete on him. Did you actually block him from the channel, though? Yeah, don't do that, Monique. I know that you do that by accident, but let me just see. I think you just deleted him on one comment. I'll make sure and I'll check afterwards, and I'll make sure he's not deleted for good, Mo. Okay, we'll make sure it's all fixed. Let's see. Cowboy saying, Messiah, you're the best. Later, Lex and Raptor Freaks, let's go. I love it. Fiercey saying, heal soon, Milbester, and best of luck to the Knicks. Yeah, not totally best of luck. Not totally best of luck. Milbester saying, thanks, Fiercey. I'm good now. My liver's healed. Vitamin D and natural juices did the trick. Just working out at home will do the trick. Good thing I eat at home, too. Lots of water and sleep, too. There you go. Milbester and I are in a similar place with our digestive right now. Most saying, so Lex, the Giants of Africa game is on my list with Kimberly and company. Awesome. Good to hear that. And Milbester saying, Lex, at least they fixed the center situation, but they had to get a third team in Charlotte to complete the trade with Minnesota. Even Cat was shocked because he never asked to be traded. Yeah, he was blindsided by this, and he's coming around on it. But he was really not happy at first to get traded to New York. But I'm sure he'll like it more and more as time goes on. In some ways, Milbester, I can't do full-on Knicks right now. I'm tired, and I'm having trouble. Talking for 3 hours straight is not fun, okay? So I'm going to skip your Knicks comments, okay? Chris comes here. Good to see you, Chris. I don't want to get hyped about one game, but Masai's draft picks are looking good. RJ trade has been a big W. Our big three is top 15, in my opinion, so I'm expecting the Raps to overachieve. There you go. Now, if anybody wants to join the league, the fantasy link is right there. There's one spot open right now. Let's see. I'm going to skip Milbester right now. Isaac saying, been busy, friends, but I have a great week. We're back. And Shaq Lindsay, you didn't do anything. Monique has a moderator wrench, and she hit a button by accident. And she deleted one of your comments by accident. All right. I appreciate y'all respecting the cutoff, because I do need to get the hell off here and rest now. I need to lay down for a while because I'm all messed up. WNBA playoffs continued yesterday. New York wins against the Vegas Aces, eliminating them 3-1. So the Las Vegas Aces will not repeat as champions this year. The New York Liberty have taken care of business. And also Connecticut Sun tied up the series against the Minnesota Lynx. So it's 2-2. So the Liberty will wait for the winner of the next game to get their finals opponent in the WNBA finals. Fantastic stuff there. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Good job by the Raptors starting their preseason. Fantastic job. I think that we need to give a lot of credit to our coach. Our coach has done a very good job preparing these guys. He's a really good coach, and he's got the good chemistry and energy around our team right now. He's building it from scratch. And, man, these guys are playing for each other, and they're connected. They're communicating. The defense looks fantastic. The offense looks fantastic. Coach Darko, you're doing a good job. In some ways, he should be the number one star of the game last night because he is the guy who set the plans, and these guys are bought in, and they're executing them, and it's working out beautifully. Of course, we got to see how it works against a team like the Celtics, the defending champions, next week. We'll see them on Sunday. So, yeah, we'll see what it's like then, but let's take it step by step. And this is a great first step for this new season of the Toronto Raptors coming up right now. Fantastic stuff. So great to have the game back and watching it. I know y'all were like me, sitting back and enjoying Raptors basketball once again after months off. Woo! That's a great feeling, isn't it? To see our guys in red back out there playing in the basketball court. So good. There you go. Fiercey's really happy about the Liberty defeating the Aces last night. That's a big thing. Yeah. W Stream, Lex, and fam. See y'all tomorrow. Rest up, Lex. That's right. Tomorrow we'll do Tuesday trivia. I have to write some trivia today. I'll be calling David, and we'll talk about it in a sec. Dave, I'm going to give Tom Duke 150 points for the classic card of the day. So I'll write that in real quick right now before I forget, because we got to make sure that Tommy gets his points for getting the classic card. So let's see. All right. It's Jeremy Grant. And it is Tom Duke, and it is going to be 150 points is what I'm going to say, 150. And it looks like Mark Allery was forgotten by him from yesterday. And he doesn't remember who the classic card was from that day. All right, David, you got to do a better job. Let's go get some rest, Lexathon. All right, thanks, Race Mode Daily. Y'all, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you're a new watcher that just checked me out for the first time, this is the way I do it all season long. I'll have a preview on game days where I'll set you up for the game with the refs, the latest injuries, all kinds of speculation on what's going to happen tonight. And then the next day, we always do a reaction. So if you enjoy talking Raptors, subscribe to the channel and you get access to write in on the chat, and I read almost every single comment. So please, if you've just joined, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 before the season starts, and I'm very close. So your next couple of subscriptions will get me to that milestone finally, if you can. So if you just found my channel just now, please hit that subscribe button. I'm telling you, it'll be worth it. If you love the Raptors and you want to talk Raptors all season long, this is one of the best places to do it because you get heard. We put you out on blast and we get all the opinions in here. And if you are loving the team and you're sick of the toxic fans that are just dissing the team, putting it down all the time, we're not doing that here. We're about positivity and rebuilding this team in a positive way with Darko and Masai and the players. So yeah, if you are a real one for the Raptors, this is your channel. So please subscribe, join if you want. There's a really cool membership things. Like David has this crazy membership plan that he gets to come to my house and plant stuff in my garden. It's like if you really get to the right membership tiers, you're getting really cool stuff. Trust me. All right. So y'all have a great Monday. We're back, baby. And I'm looking forward to Friday. Friday is a long time from now, but you know what? Let Darko do more training camp at OVO here in Toronto this week. Scotty's already there working right now. And I'm so proud of our team. We're going to get going. Yeah, 21 subs to go. Let's go. You guys could be that one that helps me get to 1,000. That's right. Thank you, Fiercey. Thank you, Edmund. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, everybody. Be in the chat. Shaq Lindsay, Shere Khan, all the people returning that were gone for the summer. I appreciate y'all coming back and recheck in with me. The same thing you expect from me last year, you're going to get again this year. That's right. We never stop. My streak has been over 3 years now. I've done a live stream on the Raptors for 3 years straight, and I ain't stopping this year. I ain't stopping anytime soon. So y'all check me out tomorrow. We'll be playing Tuesday trivia, Raptor Freak trivia, and you get some points in your Raptor Freak trivia score and get your name on this big trivia trophy in my corner right here. All right, let's have a great Monday. Touch grass. Get out there and have a great day, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Let's go, Raptors. I mean this, man. Let's go, rookies. Let's go, Prince Shamshay. That's right. Let's go, Jamal Shed. You're a badass, man. You keep them winning ways. Bring them from Houston up to Toronto, Jamal Shed. You go, man. You go. Woo, Shed. Yeah.